Inside the Alliant Energy Center here in Madison, Wisconsin, we are getting set to crown our champions in the age group and adaptive divisions here at the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. It is test number 8 here in the 65-plus division. With the men and women leading us off, Lauren Smith is down on the floor alongside the fittest seated man on earth, Tom Miazga, and the former fittest man on earth, Jason Khalipa. I'm just a guy, Joel Cadet. Glad to have you along with us here as we look at how things have played out. First for the women, where Julie Holt has all but solidified her second consecutive crown as the fittest woman on earth in this 65-plus division, that 100-point lead. On the men's side, Daniel Miller also pretty extravagant performance. He leads with 550 points over John George's 470. The battle, though, for the podium is interesting with Freddie Cherry just behind the all-time great David Hippensteel. Our test description brought to us by Surface Co.
Yeah, we have a quick burner to finish up our workouts this weekend. For time, our ladies are going to be doing 20 chest-to-bar pull-ups, followed by 45 dumbbell power snatches. They're going to be moving that dumbbell forward every 15 reps. On the gentlemen's side, they're going to be traversing through 10 bar muscle-ups to open up this test, followed by, again, 45 dumbbell power snatches.
Lane assignments with the leaders in the middle. The women are on the far side of your screen. The men will be on the close side once we get that picture. You have Julie Holt leading in lane 5. And again, on the men's side, right smack dab in the middle is Daniel Miller leading in lane 15. That Cherry Hippensteel battle is the one to watch between 3rd and 4th place.
Athletes, stand by.
And the final test is underway here at the Coliseum. And Jason, this is a sprint. You only have 6 minutes of work, and if you're going to win, it's not going to take all 6.
I mean, here's the thing. The recipe for success here is you got to go big sets. Whether you're doing these chest bar pull-ups, which are very difficult, or the bar muscle-ups, you got to get through them in big sets. And then after that, don't blow up, hang on, and race out to the finish. It's going to be a quick event and a great way to finish it out.
You say big sets right off the bat. Julie Holt is your overall leader. She's smart here, breaks them up, but they're very quick singles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would take that strategy, but we'll see how it plays out for her. I'm excited for it either way.
It's been interesting to actually have conversation with these athletes because we've heard different strategies from many of them. Some people are trying to go for big sets to open up, and some think that with their lower back and just a long week they've already had, just going singles is a smarter approach. Yeah,
I mean, you're already seeing some of the gentlemen, they already broke off, right? They got through those 10 bar muscle-ups super quick, boom, on the dumbbell. And as you can notice, they can move this dumbbell relatively easy. So we'll see how it is for the race to the end.
Jason's recipe for success was brought to us by Trifecta. You can scan that QR code for 40% off. David Hippensteel leading the way right now on the men's side. He's trying to hold on to that podium spot with a 10-point lead. That is the difference in one position on the leaderboard.
We've talked about it looking into this test. We knew that getting off that bar first was going to have a huge impact on how the rest of this race was going to turn out. And Dave's doing it just as he'd planned.
Absolutely. I mean, what you know is that as the age groups progress, you're going to see squat snatches instead of power snatches. But power snatches for these guys, I mean, they're just crushing. I mean, look at that, unbroken, just nonstop.
There's your leader overall, Daniel Miller. He came in with an 80-point advantage. So all but sealed up. John George is the man trying to track him down. You would need George to win, essentially, and Miller to lose for that gap to close.
There it is, and you can see that the majority of our men are still working on those bar muscle-ups. Daniel taking his time, making sure he's getting his full rest and feeling like he can keep through that movement. We just saw a really clean rep that last time.
Well, David Hippensteel pushing all the way onto those final 15 power snatches. His favorite movement is a ring muscle-up. Yep. No surprise on a bar muscle-up that he gets to go to work. Back at the CrossFit Games after missing out last year, he is one of the most tenured people in the age brackets. The oldest man out there at 67, he is now competing in his 67th career test at the NOBULL CrossFit Games.
How impressive is this, right? 65 plus, and these guys are doing bar muscle-ups. Most people can't even hang from a bar, yet alone go up and over the bar. I'm super impressed.
It's been incredible to watch these ladies, and it's very interesting. We've even seen some of our women down there on their chest bars yet going for the supinated grip instead, and going for the chin-up pull, and getting that a little extra range of motion. That tuck feels a little bit easier for them.
And Hippensteel is across the finish line in 2:53. He gonna go do some fillings and some dental work at his normal job on Monday. What'd you do in your vacation?
Quite an impressive performance for Dave all week long, but this is definitely the seal on top of the whole week.
Tom Muehlbauer was chasing him for a podium spot. He just finished in second place for the men. Unfortunate that he won't be able to close the gap anymore. This is David Jensen.
Sitting in second place right now, this test win's gonna be very strong for her here. Solidifying her potential place on the podium at the end.
Wow, look at that. Remarkable.
Jensen does come across in her first games out of Morgan, Utah. And Jason, that's one of the cool things in this age group. You make your CrossFit Games debut. Amazing.
Absolutely, and look at that. She finished the best she could for this event, right? So she went into it in second place, right? And she finished in first, and that's all that she could do. Awesome work.
Going to go home with a medal.
Yep. But as we saw in this test, right, the bar really made a difference for this age group. If you were able to get through that bar work, everything else kind of went relatively smooth. That might change as these age groups change in the future.
Yeah. Definitely agree there. We're seeing all the women mostly off the pull-up bar at this point, and they're all making really quick work of the dumbbells. Just moving to do those power snatches.
That's right. That's right. What you're going to notice is as those age groups get lower, right, specifically 35, 39, most of those guys are going to go unbroken on the bar, and it's really going to come down to the snatches, unlike this where it's a little bit more bar focused, I'd say.
Hugo Braun about to finish for the men, bottom of screen. Carolyn Thistle in the blue tank top of screen as Braun comes across, is about to finish for the women.
And these women are still using a 35-pound dumbbell, which you often would see as a normal weight for an affiliate if they're programming a class for anybody maybe even in their 20s or in their 30s.
That's right, and they're doing 45 reps. I mean, that's a lot of reps at these weights. And not to mention all they've done this entire week, right? They've been doing pistols, they've been doing heavy deadlifts, they've been running a 5K, and now here they are.
Yeah. I think we joked about it earlier. A lot of these individuals here would probably smash everybody at their affiliate in any workout any day of the week. It's pretty fun to watch.
That's absolutely true.
She does at CrossFit Medfield. Best town in Massachusetts.
There you go.
With 2 reps left to go. Carolyn Thistle is a Games veteran.
Ooh, man.
Oh, big fights. We love to see that.
Yeah,
look at that finish in her 4th Games. The stage is hers to complete the test with 30 seconds to go. Now the test becomes whether or not you can finish here. Just get yourself across the line. This is Paige Lockhart.
You know what I love about this, right? They have 9 seconds. The seating has already been done, but they're putting out their best. Look at this. They're going for every single rep. Look at that. Nice shot.
Amazing. There's never a man happier than that guy on the CrossFit floor. And look at Hippensteel, just pointing to everybody else.
Yeah, always been a team player. He's always had a great positive vibe. You can see that often very similar to Noah Olson.
There's your champion, Dan Miller, in the 65-plus men's division. But it was Hippensteel that dominates the test.
Look at that.
Again, those smooth bar muscle-ups, being able to keep those all the way through, feeling really smooth all the way through all 10. He set the tone and never looked back.
Yeah. This was Jensen winning the test on the women's side.
Again, playing true to Jason's strategy. She went for big sets early on those chested bars, made her move early, and in the 6-minute sprint, you just can't hold back. You got to see how you can finish.
Overall standings on the women's side. Julie Holtz, as expected, does defend her championship. She wins back-to-back in this fairly newly created 65-plus division. That's a dominant overall victory over David Jensen. So congratulations to the 3 women at the top of your screen. They will stand on top of the podium at the ceremony later on tonight. Daniel Miller, John George, and there is Hippensteel, and boy, did that matter.
Wow, that was quite the race for him at the end, solidifying that 3rd place on the podium. Again, after missing the games last year, there's nothing better than coming back with vengeance.
You know what I love about this test? How it's going to adjust as we go through these age groups, right? And then we have adaptive coming up, which is going to be super exciting as well.
Yeah, long, fun night ahead of us yet.
We get set for our second group of age groups here on our final test. The test is literally called Final Test, back here at the Coliseum inside the Alliant Energy Center. Alongside Tom Miazga and Jason Khalipa, Lauren Smith, our eyes and ears down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. This is men's and women's 60 to 64 in our age groups and our masters. And we start with Susan Clark on top of the leaderboard. This could literally be any year at the CrossFit Games. She is going for her 7th championship in 7 tries. She is the Michael Jordan of CrossFit. On the men's side, Stu Swanson, 520 points. He has a 40-point lead over Brian Wilson. He got kicked out of the Beach Boys and found something new to do.
You know, they're tied. This could be a great race.
Well, we have a final sprint here. This test number 8 is going to be 10 bar muscle-ups for both our men and women, followed by 45 dumbbell power snatches. They're going to be alternating every single rep and moving forward every 15 reps as they move down the field.
Lane assignments for the ladies. They are on the top half of your screen. There is Susan Clark in the middle. Her weekend started off eventful. She tripped crossing the finish line in the first test, got back up like a boss and finished the test.
We got to see Susan, right? And we got to see her smash everybody on the cardio tools a little bit ago. It was an amazing performance. Can't wait to see what she can do here.
Speaking about Susan Clark, that was the 5K yesterday. I mean, she was beating everyone in the field, men, women, children.
It's incredible to watch.
Same thing happened on the skier.
Yeah. She beat all the men off the skier this morning, halfway through the Endure the Coliseum test.
A recipe for success as we take a look at Stu Swanson. We'll get back to that recipe here. Stu Swanson competing with his partner here in the Masters brackets. We will see Amy Morton in one of the age groups still to come.
This is going to be a fun one to watch. We're going to look at these men to go for really big sets on these bar muscle-ups to open up.
I had a chance to talk to Eric Cohen earlier, and he was telling me he is going unbroken. So let's see what happens here. Let's see if they get the 10.
Talk about going unbroken here. A recipe for success. Jason is brought to us by Trifecta. How do you win on the rig?
Hey, for this, you got to win by taking some big sets here and then hanging on and not blowing up. But you got to go for it. If you don't go for it, you're not going to be able to catch up on the snatches with this particular group. You got to go.
Let's check in with Lauren Smith on the floor.
Susan Clark, coming into the final test, added on an additional 5 wins to her test tally in 23. That means a total of 28 career test wins. It puts her first for all Masters overall. And as you said, Joel, 7th champion and 7th try is on the line tonight.
And Lauren, 14, 15, 17, 19, 21, and 23 would be championships for Susan Clark. Matt Fraser, get out the way.
Look at these guys. Look at these guys racing right now. They all came off the bar almost at the exact same time, and now it's going to be a race with these dumbbells.
With a 6-minute sprint, we're only looking at just pure perfection here. You have to stay consistent. You have to keep moving. If you stop, you're going to open the hole for somebody else.
I mean, look at the guys bottom of screen. And when you're out there with the field, it makes such a big difference when you feel that pressure from behind.
Oh, yeah. The adrenaline is definitely pumping through these guys right now.
Absolutely. Right now, every single rep counts, right? They just got to go, got to go. No reps are going to be big.
No surprise there. We already see Susan Clark off, working on her dumbbell snatches. 2 of our women have already finished their 10-bar muscle-ups. And again, these women are over the age of 60. Dude. That is just remarkable.
Like I was saying earlier, I mean, most people over the age of 60 have just crazy to me. I love it.
Again, we're paying attention to this men's race because it could literally come down to any of these 6 guys in front of us right now.
Absolutely. You have Eric and Brian both tied right now. Whoever finishes these snatches first takes home 2nd place.
Head to surfacedirect.com today to pick up the floor trusted by CrossFit for your gym. It's the floor on the ground right now that these gentlemen are trying to blast through.
Out in front here. He's got maybe about a 2-rep lead. Looking very smooth here. Tom Famery in the middle there. He's only 10 points out of 3rd place himself. So that tie is also looking at 4th and 5th place, still making their way to the podium.
Look at these guys go. Just making light work of that dumbbell.
Eric Cohen and Brian Wilson are the 2 men right now competing for 2nd place. Stu Swanson is in first with a 40-point lead.
Hands in the air. We're separated by single-digit reps here.
Look at this.
Oh, it's McCarty coming in on top. 227.
And then Swanson with a dive roll lead in 2nd place.
Tom Famery taking 3rd. This could shake things up.
Cohen was a rep behind him and struggling. Tursky came in, but now Cohen finishes with Brian Wilson nowhere to be seen yet in the mix. So Cohen will break that tie and put himself into second place. Susan Clark. Wow. If this isn't a victory lap for one of the greatest masters of all time, there is no one in sight as she sees the finish line.
This is incredible to watch. If you don't know the name Susan Clark and relate it to CrossFit, you gotta start getting educated because she is a pinnacle in this sport.
Wow. Wow.
6 titles.
Just easy work, man.
She's crying. I'm gonna start crying too. This isn't good. All the emotions, we're feeling it all right now.
So is that 7 for 7?
That's 7 for 7.
6 for 6
6 for 6,
Clark.
excuse us. Yeah, 6 for 6. Too many to keep track of at this point, right?
Wow. Wow. You know, for those of you watching at home, this is a phenomenal test to be observing because you're going to see a lot of different looks from bar muscle-ups to power snatches to squat snatches coming up, and an increased number of the bar muscle-ups. It's going to switch it all up, and we have the adaptive division coming up shortly.
Betsy Vanderberg trying to finish in behind Susan Clark, second in this test. Betsy's been around for a while in the Masters brackets as well.
She has. She's had a terrific week as well. She was very close with Susan actually in the Endure the Coliseum workout. The only other lady to finish the workout this morning.
We still have 2 minutes left with which to work.
Jason.
That just shows you how impressive what we saw on the front end of this was.
Yep.
There is Brian Wilson. Remember, he was in that second place tie with Cohen at the start of the test. Still trying to cling to a podium spot and put a medal around his neck.
And as we talk about these bar muscle-ups and how these guys need to move through them quickly, we can't forget that their arms are blown up right now from those bar muscle-ups on these power snatches. Again, these guys are using a 50-pound dumbbell, and yeah, after 10 bar muscle-ups, it may feel a little bit heavier than 50 pounds.
Let's talk about 50 pounds. How many people that are 60 to 64 are throwing around 50-pound dumbbells?
Very few, and these guys are throwing them around. They're, especially that first group, it was like nothing.
It's been impressive to watch.
The best part about this is, you think anybody on this floor has to worry about picking up groceries? Absolutely not, right? That's what this is really for. The application outside the gym.
Wow. Taking a look at John Gary here, trying to finish up. He's got 5 left. Down to 4, about 30 seconds.
This is what everybody can sympathize with, right? You're at the end of class. You want to finish the WOD that day. You've got 25 seconds to go to get those final few reps in.
And there it is, John Gary getting it done. Uh-oh.
Oh, it looks like he got a no rep or something.
We got one more to go.
Okay.
He does have 15 seconds. He's got to go back to his dumbbell. 1 rep.
Get him across that line.
There you go.
And John Gary will finish.
All right.
Looks like Brian Wilson's back is tightening up. You see that right there?
That was McCarty from the jump with everybody else, but he led the pack.
A tremendous finish for him. Again, a great workout. He never looked back. Gotta love the dive there. You can tell that was a long week right there. He was waiting for that one.
Oh, look at
It was like a group of lemurs heading to the finish. Here's Clark. Again, better than 60 years old and working through the bar muscle-ups just like they were nothing.
Yep. And again, stapling her 6th career victory as the fittest woman on earth. Absolutely tremendous.
And you can just tell, I mean, look at that look. She's put in so much hard work over the years to earn that spot. I'm stoked for her.
6 championships in 6 years. Some fist bumps with Adrian Bosman, our competition director in the gray shirt there. The biggest stage in fitness.
That was a cool race.
On to the 55 through 59-year-olds here for the Test 8 final test at the Coliseum, the Alliant Energy Center for the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. 8-time CrossFit Games athlete Jason Khalipa, 3-time fittest seated man on earth Tom Miazga, Lauren Smith, our eyes and ears down in the field. My name is Joel Godet. It is 3 days of competition, all coming down to this as we start on the women's side. A 30-point lead for Lekka Feynman. That is a good lead. It is not an unbeatable lead, and Shauna Bunce is one of the greatest all time in the upper masters divisions. Laurie Mishiznik trying to wind up on the podium, just 10 points back. Kevin Kester, that man's a beast.
Out for the victory lap, it looks like. Here.
Right.
Test description brought to us by Surface Co. here.
Test number 8 is a quick one. We have a 6-minute time cap to watch our individuals go through 20 bar muscle-ups, come off that pull-up bar, and work through 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. A bit of a different movement that we just saw in our previous divisions.
Square in the middle of the field for the women. Feynman right next to Bunce. You'll see Mishiznik at the far top of your screen once we give you the field in lane 2. Kester is in the middle of the men in lane 15. Ryan Johamby had a great start to his competition. Still in the mix as well.
Again, we have quite the women's race ahead of us. Yes, Lekka Feynman in the lead, but again, Shannon Bunce is within striking distance. We'll see how this workout turns out.
This is about to be fun right now. 20, and then the squat snatch. Woo, this could be a great heat.
Kevin Kester, CrossFit Santa. He's been an
CrossFit Viking.
Yeah.
He's been an iron worker since he was 19. He jokes, I do CrossFit all day for a living. Then I go to the gym.
Athletes stand by.
Our recipe for success, Jason, is brought to us by Trifecta.
I mean, here it is. This one in particular, you got to go big sets. You're going to see several of these athletes go unbroken for 20 bar muscle-ups, which is going to be impressive in itself. Then jump off, and they got to make sure they don't blow up because squat snatches are going to get tough. It's a fast race. We got to go.
Let's put that in perspective. You have people that are 55 to 59 who could go unbroken on 20 bar muscle-ups.
You're going to see it right now.
Who's going unbroken on 20 bar muscle-ups? General fitness.
Exactly. That's getting a bar muscle-up in your affiliate alone is kind of a pinnacle of fitness, right? It's something that we all strive, we all celebrate when we see it happen. And now we're watching 55-year-old men do 20 of them like it's a cake.
Well, and if you watch the way they're doing it, right, their technique is on point. So they're leaning back, they're engaging the lat, they're pulling the hips to the bar and sitting up. It's technique, but obviously it's strength too. You're going to see it. They're going to get it right now.
Schedule a no-cost 15-minute evaluation to find out if a Rosti treatment is right for you. Get pain-free, now available across the U.S. Scan that QR code on your screen to get started with a Rosti. And there is Kevin Kester, who does go unbroken on the 20 bar muscle-ups, and he's got time, although John Kim's coming up behind him to start these dumbbell snatches.
Now, these first few snatches are going to be a big deal. Do they have the ankle and the shoulder flexibility to get down there? Let's see if they're going to get some no reps. They're tough. That's a tough movement.
You see John getting a no rep on his first attempt there.
That's right.
Again, we saw Kevin take a sizable break before he went into his first one, and that may actually pay a difference for him.
Absolutely. My recommendation for these athletes is to widen out their stance a little bit. Give a little bit of room for their hips to drop, but we'll see what they do.
Inside your affiliates, you often see dumbbell snatches. You don't often see dumbbell squat snatches. You talked about the ankle mobility, the shoulder mobility. What makes this movement so much more difficult?
You know, this movement really became popular in the CrossFit Games, I'd say maybe 8 years ago. It wasn't very common. It's very difficult because you have this kind of like single arm strength component, but it's the range of motion to hold it over your frontal plane that's very difficult.
And we can't ignore the fact that these gentlemen and these women are already blowing up their shoulders with 20 bar muscle-ups. So again, that 50-pound dumbbell may feel like a 65 or a 70 by the end of these 30 snatches.
Absolutely. John Kim is just smashing this right now. In particular, comes off those bar muscle-ups looking good. And look how smooth his hip flexibility is in those ankles.
Well, he's a rock climber by trade, so pretty good shoulders there for Kim. You've got cancer survivor Linda Elston leading the way for the ladies on the left side of your screen.
Impressive to see her this far ahead already on those bar muscle-ups, but love that wide stance. She's really giving herself a chance to get those hips to open up, squatting nice and deep. Again, that shoulder mobility overhead has been a staple for her to be able to squat nice and smooth as she has.
If this isn't the greatest moment of your athletic life, if you're John Kim, the look over his shoulder he had to see if there was anybody coming, awesome.
And look at that. Not only is he in age group, but look at the movement. He's moving well, right?
Yeah.
And this is his last reps after doing all that other work. Putting on a clinic.
Controlled, just like you talked about, he's not blowing up. He's keeping himself a consistent pace. I bet he's in his mind right now where he's making sure that every rep feels exactly the same as the last.
Absolutely. Good for him.
Down to just 3 reps remaining here for him.
He's 10 points off the podium.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is a staple movement here then.
A 10-year affiliate owner. Could he become a CrossFit Games podium finisher as well? Well, he's going to win the final test. He's put himself in the mix.
This is fun.
Nice job,
this
John.
is fun.
And not to mention, he's jacked. I saw him outside. I'm like, hey, bro, you're jacked. Look at that.
I wish I had those arms at 35, let alone 55.
Now, what you'll notice from Kevin, right, is that he's shifting to his toes to make up for some of that maybe potential, whatever, hip, ankle flexibility. We'll see if we can get through these last reps.
Again, Kevin Kester with the white headband, gathering himself.
Again, just the sheer amount of doing 20 bar muscle-ups compared to the 10 that we saw in the previous heats, that's just adding not only more time and duration under stress, but again, the element of adding the squat is making this workout significantly harder than we maybe have seen in the past.
Absolutely. You're even seeing some of the female athletes wearing a weight belt, but look at that range of motion. So, in my opinion, I think for a lot of these ladies, I mean, look at that load too. That's a 35-pound dumbbell overhead. That's tough.
Yeah, it's asking a lot.
This is Elston.
You love to see that. Play into the crowd, enjoying, taking in every moment of this last test after an incredible 3 days.
Her 7th consecutive trip to the games. You start to notice patterns in the Masters brackets. People that get here year after year that focus on their fitness. Elston amongst them, Kester amongst them on odd years.
Again, we're definitely feeling those bar muscle-ups come into play as we try and finish these last dumbbell squat snatches. But again, Elston making smooth work at these. Oh, getting a little tired there. That shoulder mobility starting to wane.
Kester finishes. He had a 160-point lead, so he is your champion for the men, regardless of what happened out here.
Still an incredibly valiant performance there.
You know what the best part about this is? As an athlete, you look at this test, you're like, okay, I could do those things. But you don't realize you come off of, or maybe people at home are like, oh, I could do that. Hey, man, they've been doing all these other tests before this. They're fatigued, and they're still crushing it.
If you want to know how much difference the squat dumbbell snatch makes versus the power, 2 people have finished. Now 3, and there's 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
But that's why I love this test, is that, especially from a viewer at home, a lot of different looks from different age groups. It's great.
Just 10 seconds remaining here. We have 4 athletes on their final dumbbell. Let's see if anybody can get across the line.
5 seconds left. Walmsley with a good rep, but no one is going to come across. We have 3 men that finish, 1 woman. John Kim may very well have just put himself on the podium. No, we'll leave that lip reading to you at home.
Again, John making smooth work. We saw Kevin go unbroken on those muscle-ups, but John stayed poised, kept his poise, moved smoothly through the bar muscle-ups, and then just made clean work of every single one of those squat snatches. I think the first one and the 30th one looked exactly the same.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You know what I'm surprised about, Tom? We didn't see more athletes wearing Olympic lifting shoes.
Yeah. And we got Linda Elston there finishing her workout. Again, the only female to finish the test. Impressive work for Linda. A great way to stamp in an incredible week.
So Linda Elston, again, her 7th consecutive trip. Her best finish was 2nd back in 2019. Kevin Kester just shows up to win. And he again does that. But John Kim has the glory in the Coliseum to win the final test for the men in the 55 to 59 bracket. You're about to watch one of the tightest races in the Masters division as we head to the final test number 8 here in Madison, Wisconsin, and the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. The top of the women's bracket in this division is remarkable, with Tom Miazga, Jason Khalipa, Lauren Smith down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. 10 points separating first, second, and third on the women's side. We will dive into all of it with Natalie Connors, Nicole Abbott, Cheryl Brost. Oh,
man.
Nelly.
Woo.
Could you ask for a better finale?
This is going to be a great race.
On the men's side, Jason Leaves has a 20-point lead. So it's still not done over there because Arta Komorowski has that final podium spot. But he, Sean Patrick, Jason Leaves, could be anybody's game on that side as well. The test that lies ahead, we simply have 2 movements.
We have 2 movements. We have a sprint to finish test number 8. It's 20 bar muscle ups for both our men and women. They'll then move into 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. The men are using a 50-pound dumbbell and our ladies a 35-pound dumbbell.
Women's start list: Connors, Brost, Abbott, 13 games appearances between them. What order will they finish on the podium in lanes 4, 5, and 6? On the men's side, Leaves, Komorowski, and then Sean Patrick in lanes 14, 15, and 16. The chiropractor Bob Ruano in lane 11. The funeral director in lane 19, Clint Paddock. But that is your ladies' podium fight.
It's going to be fun to watch.
We talked about in the last heat how the big sets are going to be key. In this group right here, whoever can get these unbroken and have the range of motion on those squat snatches is taking this thing home. This is going to be a fast heat. This is going to be good.
Well, it is Brost's 30th anniversary on Monday.
Wow.
This would be a good present to yourself. Recipe for success in this final test is brought to us by Trifecta. To the bar muscle ups we go.
Now, for this particular group, it's big sets, as we talked about before, for recipes of success, but even more so, I'd say not blowing up. So how smooth can you be on those bar muscle ups? Focusing on your techniques, you can get on that squat snatch and really stay consistent for all those reps to come.
As you see these women working through these bar muscles right now, they have a very large, what we call kipping movement. They're pushing their hips all the way forward as they come through to reload for the next rep. And as they push back, they're driving those hips as high to the bar as they can to help vault them over the top.
You're looking, lack of tension is not the right way of putting it, but you want to look for a fluidity to it, right?
That's absolutely right. And then what you're seeing here is that as the athlete gets up and over the bar, they're almost resting on their stomach a little bit, extending out and then coming back down to the stomach. So it puts a little less strain on the shoulder as they go down. All of this, it doesn't look like a big deal. It is a big deal. So when they get to those snatches, they want to be able to be fresh.
3-woman race between Brost, Abbott, and Connors.
Look at that. Look at all those gentlemen right off the bar at the exact same time. The ladies are going to follow suit really closely. I can guarantee it.
And again, it'll be interesting to watch as these gentlemen move right into this dumbbell squat snatch. Again, coming off that bar muscle up, it may take a second to find that full range of motion at the bottom of the rep, but so far these guys have made it look real easy.
Daig in the middle, Eric C. Smith on the right. We talked about Komorowski fighting for a podium spot. He is on the left. And as they battle it out, you can head to surfacedirect.com today to pick up the floor trusted by CrossFit for your gym back home.
We're already starting to see a few no reps happening for the gentlemen. Expect more of that to come as the athletes try to go faster and faster and faster on these squat snatches.
You mentioned, Jason, the footwear at the end of the last heat.
I did.
Would you wear lifters to do this event?
Absolutely. I'd be curious why they aren't. The only reason why you wouldn't want to wear lifters here is because they add more weight for the bar muscle ups, but I think it's just not a factor. I would definitely wear it for this workout.
And ironically, we're not seeing Nicole Abbott not wear those shoes. She's wearing regular trainers here. She's first off the bar muscle ups, making clean work of these dumbbell snatches so far. Again, putting herself in front of that very, very tight race for the podium.
Really wide stance on those dumbbell squats, though.
That's right. That's right. Just makes a little bit more room for those hips to drop down. It puts you in a little bit more of a vertical position so your pelvis can have room, and therefore it requires a little less shoulder range of motion there because you can be more vertical.
Connors and Abbott are tied atop the ladies. Brost is behind by 10 points. Komorowski is 20 points out of first place.
Oh, but he's looking to take the the test win here, excuse me.
Look at that.
Looking really smooth. Again, dropping nice and low into the bottom of that squat, and there it is.
So Komorowski is done in 2:45. The man he's chasing is Leaves. and Leaves is not amongst the top 4 right now. So the door might be open for Artur Komorowski to pull away a CrossFit Games Masters Championship.
And what you're noticing Cheryl doing, right, is she's pulling herself under that dumbbell. So she's not really reaching extension. She's pulling herself under, which is going to help with some speed through these movements.
Every man that finishes between Komorowski and the top helps him. Corey Daigle is done.
Yep, Corey Daigle moving in. Again, 4 men already on their last dumbbell. We move over to the women there. Again, we can start to see that shoulder overhead, that mobility is starting to get a little bit impacted by the impact of the dumbbell, or the bar muscle ups.
Eric C. Smith just finished for the men.
Here's the reason why I love the dumbbell for this test, is that dumbbell is not perfectly positioned. It feels twice as heavy, and they're just fighting for it right now.
Now, how about this?
Yeah.
Did you expect that she wouldn't go without a fight? Here's Cheryl Brost, not only a Masters athlete, she performed in the elite division back at the 2010 CrossFit Games. She was 7th in 2011, only off first place by 10 points when this test started.
Her and Tay are going at it to finish it out. Let's see what happens here. Look at that, rep for rep. I think Cheryl might be a little bit ahead.
Tay Gebby left of screen, but the people that she's competing with are behind her.
Oh,
that could be a CrossFit Games championship for Cheryl Brost.
What a move there at the end.
Wow.
Again, we're seeing some of the women have issues with just keeping that dumbbell in a nice locked out overhead position right now, and those bar muscle ups taking their impact here. But again, Cheryl making smooth work all the way through those.
I think it's important to note here from a points perspective, there's 10 athletes, there's 100 points possible for first place, and then it drops down by 10 for each person. So the fact that Taya came in second is going to impact these standings. About a minute left. Let's see if these ladies can finish it out.
Quickly to the resting position that we all know and love there. Purdy coming in, Kim doing a great job with that workout.
Final minute. And it's always interesting to see how different age groups attack this, right? It seems as if the dumbbell squat snatch, a little bit more of a natural movement as you move through the bracket.
Yeah. And as you look at this, you know, our 3-woman race there, all of them probably knew the tenacity they needed to bring to this workout, or this test, in order to be, you know, at the top, to finish on top of the podium. And maybe the adrenaline got the best of them at the beginning, but we're seeing that again, this may still come down to who finishes. We see now again, Nicole Abbott crossing the line.
It looks as if Brost may have won her 3rd championship, but Abbott will stand on the podium.
Look at how emotional it is. Just look at what it means for these athletes, right? The work they've put in, the dedication. It's nice to see the camaraderie too, all the gentlemen taking a picture together.
I mean, most of them got jobs. Like, they got kids, they got lives.
Yeah, I'd say almost, basically all of them have jobs.
This is what fitness on a normal everyday scale can do for you, and pouring your heart and soul into something. And Cheryl Brost, unofficially, is a 3-time Games champion.
Here we see again, replay of these 3 women taking on those bar muscle-ups early on, going for the big sets. We saw Nicole Abbott get off early, but again, maybe a little too fast. We saw her no rep a few of her squat snatches, and then we allowed Cheryl Brost to take advantage. And again, Komorowski coming in, putting himself solidly on the podium with that nice test win here. And again, we're seeing Cheryl Brost come across that line. The excitement, the joy, the relief 8 incredible tests have finally come to an end.
We're gonna go from the Masters, though, all the way down to the next wave, the 14 and 15-year-olds. They are our next division as we roll on with the Masters here in the age groups here inside the Coliseum. The teenagers take center stage here for the final test. It is the Coliseum inside the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, and the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. What were you doing when you were 14? Jason Khalipa, Tom Miazga, Lauren Smith is down on the floor. My name is Joel Gadet, and what in this? We are looking at the fittest teenagers on earth. The Guatemalan who moved to train in Spain, Maria Granizo, a 20-point lead over Miley Wade, following in her sister's footsteps here at the CrossFit Games. Bryn Cupp is just off the podium in fourth. Jeremy Jordan fighting from behind to overtake Lincoln Lefebvre here late. Atop the podium right now, the situation for the boys, 14 and 15. Their test is brought to us by Surface Coat.
Test number 8, the final test of the week for our age group athletes. These athletes will have 20 bar muscle-ups, moving into then 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. Our gentlemen are using a 50-pound dumbbell. The ladies will be using a 35-pound dumbbell.
Our start list for the ladies with 5 different countries represented. The Hungarian Mira Varga, I would have to imagine, looks up to one Laurel Horvat. That's
Absolutely.
what the next generation finds their inspiration from, right? As you take a look at the men's side, a couple of Spaniards, Pau Martin Tiers in lane 14. Our athletes to watch on the women's side, it is Maria Granizo.
And Maria so far has a clean sweep. She is the winner of the Open and the winner of semifinals to get her place here at the Games.
And Jeremy Jordan from CrossFit Turlock on the boys' side.
Stand by.
Underway with our recipe for success. That's presented by Trifecta.
Check out these athletes. So the recipe for success today, especially for these athletes, is going to be big sets. I expect that all the boys are going to go unbroken here, and most of the girls are going to go unbroken here. And the goal is, can you go fast enough on that while staying controlled so you don't blow up on these dumbbells?
4 members of our crew. Let's say hey to the 4th, Lauren Smith.
Thanks, guys. Maria Granizo is such an impressive young woman. She's only 15 years old, and she's traveled from Guatemala, her home, and lives in Spain. That was 7 months ago. I spoke to her camp behind the scenes just now, and a spokesperson from her team said that she wasn't even worried about it. She knew that if she wanted to be the best Games athlete she could be, she needed to link up with former Games athlete Sarah Alicia, her coach, and the Max Effort coaching team to get the best out of her, and it is showing.
Wow. Wow. Granizo, the first one off the bar on those bar muscle-ups.
Under a minute, and they're already off the bar muscle-ups. Look at that.
Wow. We are now seeing nearly all of the men off, all working on those dumbbell squat snatches. And probably comparative to our 55s and maybe our 60-year-old men, these boys are going to have a little bit of an easier time squatting to that full depth range of motion.
That's right. What you can see from the boys is that they're going to pull themselves under fast. Every single rep for them. They're not going to hit hip extension. They don't even need it. Watch this. Boom. Just pull under. Fast up, fast down.
Get to see Jeremy Jordan making smooth work, already ahead. Again, now we saw 45 reps earlier of the power snatch from our older divisions. Now we're seeing 30 reps of that squat snatch. So they're moving forward every 10 reps. Jeremy, again, looking very strong. That overhead shoulder mobility is keeping true.
Schedule a no-cost 15-minute evaluation and find out if a Rosti treatment is right for you. Get pain-free. Now available across the U.S. Scan the QR code and get started.
Look at Jeremy right now. I mean, he literally just, you can't do any better than that.
That man is up by 10. He knew what he had to do. He comes into the final test, and Jeremy Jordan hadn't won a test. On the final test, he has 4 reps left.
Wow. We're also seeing Marissa Nichols here moving really smoothly. She's dipping into those squats really quick. She's actually moving on to her last dumbbell, and we already see
Miley Wade finishes first for the women.
Wow.
But she doesn't have enough because Granizo came in behind her. The gap there was 20. So that's first and second for the girls.
What a race, man. This place is electric right now. Awesome.
This is fun.
Miley Wade, winner of the Elite Team Throwdown last year. She's second at the CrossFit Games this year. Bright futures all around.
It's remarkable to watch. We've seen the earlier divisions, maybe a few are finishing under 3 minutes, and a majority of these athletes are already done in less than 3 minutes.
That's right, that's right. They got through those bar muscle ups. They made easy work of that. And most of these guys, they all have great range of motion.
Everybody working through these snatches. You talked about, Jason, not even having to get the hips open. When you watch this movement, it's such a great example. Olympic lifting isn't about lifting the weight. It's about moving yourself quickly around the weight.
That's right. Well, it depends on the load. So in this particular case, given the fact the load is moderate, if light for them, they don't need to hit hip extension. As it got more heavy, you would obviously have to, but in this case, the goal is to get it done as fast as possible. So if I was them, I'd be pulling myself underneath as quick as I could. And that's what you saw.
Maria Granizzo, unofficially the champion on the women's side, as you get a look at her and Wade in first and second.
Big props to Miley, though. Again, she knew what she had to do. She had to go out, try and get a test win. It's the last workout of the weekend. It's a 6-minute workout. There's nothing really to do but just go full send.
You know, and shout out to all these athletes, right? They're out here 14, 15 years old, really putting themselves in these uncomfortable positions. And this is going to pay dividends for the rest of their life and all types of things in the gym, outside the gym.
Some would say she was just being Miley.
Not wrong there, sir. Not wrong there.
Final 4 reps. We still have 2 minutes before the cap.
Yeah, the efficiency that we're seeing. And again, you may see one athlete staggering behind a little bit, but the athleticism and the sheer fitness of these athletes is off the charts.
And the walk across for the finish for Cesar. Everyone finishes well ahead of the cap.
Wow. Can you imagine what the 16 and 17-year-olds is going to be like?
If you blink, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. And again, our unofficial champion, Maria Granizzo, did just enough to get to that final test to crown herself as the fittest 14-15 on earth. Again, we're seeing these women open up with this beautiful kip, making smooth work of these bar muscle ups.
Well, look how high she got.
She's pulling herself so high.
You do have to hit a slight elbow. Like, you can't land extension, but she's getting as close as you can.
That extra bit of loft makes that movement way less taxing on the shoulders. And on the other side, again, Jeremy Jordan just put in the gas pedal, just put it down to the floor and said, I'm not stopping until I cross that line. What a fun race to watch.
'14 and 15-year-old boys and girls as we go down to Lauren Smith.
Well, I am joined by 3 people who have had an incredible CrossFit Games. Jordan, talk me through what this week's been like.
It was just, you know, full send every workout. I got last one to workout, and I need to like climb my way back up. Got into second, and then workout before this, got into first, and just full send this last one.
As a former professional gymnast, when you see a bar muscle up workout, how much does that fill you with excitement?
Makes me very happy, yeah, and confident.
Maria Granizzo, you have had a phenomenal journey this year. 7 months ago, you traveled from your home in Guatemala to Spain at 15 years old. Have you enjoyed that experience? How have you found it?
I have enjoyed every moment since I began. I couldn't ask for more. Just being here, it's a dream come true. That I really appreciate all the effort everyone does, the staff, the volunteers, and the athletes that are great competitors. So I'm really thankful for everything.
There has been quite a battle between you and Miley throughout the competition. In the 14 to 50-year-old category, Miley, how nice is it to have that competitive nature, but also to find friends in it?
It's amazing. Everyone around me is so nice and kind. When we get on the competition floor, we're ready to battle, but after, we're good.
And what about for you? How's your experience been at the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games?
It's been good. The support around me is amazing, and I really appreciate it.
We really appreciate you both. Congratulations. Enjoy the next couple of days. Joel, back to you.
Lauren, thank you. And that's the cool part about being 14 and 15 years old and coming to the CrossFit Games.
It's It's all bets are off when they're on the floor, but afterwards, they're nothing but friends.
We still have so much more, though. The adaptive divisions. Those are coming up next, and we still have some more masters. Games.crossfit.com for all the official results, schedules, leaderboards, everything as we continue through the weekend at the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Final test across the adaptive divisions, upper and lower extremities. for the men and women here in Madison, the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Alongside former Spirit of the Games winner Jason Kalipa, the Paralympian Tom Miazga, Lauren Smith down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. Our 8th and final test for this crew. As we take a look across all of these divisions, 5 men and 5 women in each of the divisions. Christina Mazzullo right now winning for the women's upper extremity with an insurmountable advantage, so she will be your champion. This is the interesting one. Bailey Hooper beating the 2-time defending champion Valerie Cohen in the women's lower extremity division, although Cohen is a gymnast in an event that starts on the pull-up bar. Casey Acree has won all but one event ever at the CrossFit Games. We'll talk about that one in 2001 at another time. Rogan Dean is your almost insurmountable leader for the men's lower extremity division out of New Zealand. This is the upper extremity test.
As we do have different adaptations to this workout depending on the disability that we're looking at. Test number 8 for upper extremity is going to have 20 chest to bar pull-ups into 20 dumbbell overhead squats, and then finish with 10 dumbbell squat snatches. Our lower extremity athletes are going to be doing 20 bar muscle-ups, as we just saw our age group athletes do, and then move into those 30 alternating hang dumbbell snatches.
20 athletes out there. Lane assignments in lanes 6 through 10 are the women's upper extremity. Women's lower extremity 1 through 5. That'll be top of your screen once competition begins. The men will be on the bottom side. Men's upper extremity, middle of the field. Casey Acree in lane 18. And then the men's lower extremity just above them, with Rogan Dean, your leader, in lane 14.
Again, we have an incredible race on our hands here. Bailey Hooper, the rookie from Canada, currently leads Valerie Cohen by 25 points. With only 5 athletes in each division in the adaptive divisions, there is a 25-point separator between first and second place.
Cohen out of Feast CrossFit in Chicago. Winner of 12 of 15 tests in the history of the adaptive divisions. She had been queen and then finally ran into her match here in year 3. What's she up against here? Jason brought to us by Trifecta.
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about the previous heats, I think it's all about big sets, but even more so, finding your rhythm and staying calm. This is the last event of the entire week. You gotta stay calm, you gotta execute. You're gonna see some fast races coming towards the end.
That was the recipe for success brought to us by Trifecta. As we scan the women's field, Casey Acree was the first on the men's side to make it to these dumbbell overhead squats.
And as an adaptive athlete myself, I think it's just the coolest pan that you can see right now. We're seeing so many different adaptations to the same stimuli right now. All of these athletes are going to hurt the exact same way by the time they cross that finish line.
Not only as an adaptive athlete, but as one of the best adaptive athletes as well, Tom. How remarkable is what Casey Acree does just as an athlete?
It's untouchable. Casey Acree is working through his 3rd year at the CrossFit Games already, and he has only lost one test the entire time he's ever been here.
Is this man going to finish this whole test in 1 minute and 30 seconds?
And he's using a 70-pound dumbbell, right? And he's snatching it like it's nothing.
Casey Acree is borderline inhuman.
The videos we were watching of the cleans and the snatches, if you guys haven't seen those, you have to check them out. So impressive.
Casey is the epitome of our upper extremity athletes. Again, what we're seeing him do here is no different than any test we've ever seen him compete in. Again, he just finished this workout, folks, in 1 minute and 41 seconds.
He has won, Casey Acree, 23 of the 24 tests ever. He's the greatest of all time, and Cohen
shake-up.
Trying for that on the ladies' side.
To remind you, Cohen was down 25 points going into this workout. If Bailey Hooper finishes second, we have a point tie at the top of the podium. Bailey Hooper making smooth work of those snatches over there. She's well ahead of Amy Bream, and there it is. Bailey Hooper is going to take second place. So we have an actual deadlock point tie at the top of the podium following 8 tests across this week.
Look at that race to finish from...
We see Rogan Dean crossing first for our lower extremity men as well. Again, nothing different than what he's done all week long. Him and Charles Pinar have had a great race this entire week. Rogan had a really strong morning that gave him a little bit of separation. And again, we found another workout that was right in his wheelhouse.
Keeping in mind, right, this is a 70-pound dumbbell and a 50-pound dumbbell. This is not lightweight.
No. No. I think what you're about to see, and what you are seeing and have seen all this week, is that these athletes do not understand the idea of quit. These athletes are willing to adapt. They're willing to do what they need to do in order to get the work done. Whether it's their daily life or working out at the gym, these athletes have a grit that cannot be touched.
Amy Bream done. The perspective of the greatness by the people that just won this test, though. Casey Acree has one arm, and he qualifies in quarterfinals for the regular elite division.
Yep.
He just came here and smoked the CrossFit Games. And then Valerie Cohen, she knew the assignment. She hit it out of the park.
Gas pedal to the floor. Again, as the gymnast and gymnastics coach by day, those bar muscle-ups are a place where she knew she had to attack, and she did not look back.
Tom, you said something really interesting, right? The goal is to make adjustments to preserve the stimulus, right? And that's really what we're looking for here, is that anyone, regardless of the adaptation they have, they can make this work for them, right? And this is, watching these athletes has been really inspiring for me. And I want to have more adaptive athletes coming into our gym and doing these amazing things.
We can't ask for anything more than that. And I hope it's just a wonderful lesson, again, so that CrossFit is really designed for anybody and everybody. Coming from a swimming background, I didn't think that I thought I'd be okay in a CrossFit gym, and I was blown up by my first workout. But as I continued to work through it and found that I could put ego aside and make the adaptations I needed to, I wouldn't be where I am without CrossFit in this place. And I think that anybody can learn that message just by watching these athletes work.
That's right.
Again, what's fun too is to see the camaraderie that all these athletes have for each other. There's been nothing but constant cheering. Again, we leave it all on the floor, but at the end of the day, there's nothing but friends here. This community is continuing to grow, and we're excited to see where it goes in the future.
Yeah, in this Coliseum, it's packed, it's loud, it's energetic, and people want to see the division do well. Look at this.
Got Jordan Inglesby here, working to finish up. Oh, excuse me, that's Christina Mazzullo. Again, already the champion in our upper extremity division. She's on her victory lap right here. Again, still beautiful work with that dumbbell squat snatch. It's no joke with that 50-pound dumbbell. That is not a lightweight.
Not only already the champion, but at 42 years old, the oldest person competing in the adaptive division. Age is but a number.
Age is but a number. Last year, Mazzullo had one event win, or one test win, excuse me. She's already got 5 wrapped up this week.
Wow.
No rep with 20 seconds left to go. The crowd is getting behind her to try to finish out this test.
That arm, again, as an upper extremity athlete, she is doing all of this with her right arm. So when we saw those athletes do 20 overhead squats to start, that's very similar to just loading that arm the same way that you would have if you were doing 30 squat snatches, as we saw previous.
And there's the time cap.
Fighting through the bell, we love it.
For your champ, Mazzullo. Your champ on the men's side, upper extremity, Casey Acree. He has almost never been beaten, not only in an appearance, but in a test at the CrossFit Games.
Oh, I wish you guys could see this right now. All the crowd in the Coliseum, standing ovation. Again, giving everybody the credit that they deserve here. This is remarkable. Again, we have not seen bar muscle-ups yet in the adaptive divisions at the CrossFit Games. So again, seeing them for our lower athletes and then making the quick work again. Casey Acree just putting on an absolute show every single test that he's come across. I mean, Matt Fraser, who?
He ain't wrong. As Amy Bream, who in the first year of adaptives at the CrossFit Games, I think brought everybody in the Coliseum to tears with her performance on the clean and jerk.
Yeah, again, nobody truly knows how hard it is to actually work through a prosthetic like that, especially getting that squat snatch. But again, her resilience and her adaptations have proven worthy here at the CrossFit Games.
We're going to multi-extremity. We don't know how the women's lower extremity has played out yet. We've got a complete tie. Stay tuned as we move on through the adaptive divisions. final adaptive heat here in the men's and women's final test at the Coliseum inside the Alliant Energy Center, Madison, Wisconsin, 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. It all comes down to this with Jason Kalipa, the 8-time CrossFit Games athlete. Tom Miazga, the 3-time fittest seated man on earth. Lauren Smith is down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. Standings for the women multi-extremity division with Noelle Henderson leading by 100 points. She just needs to make it through the test, and she will have a gold medal around her neck. On the men's side, it is a smaller lead, but still a sizable lead for Chris Rhyme. But with only 4 athletes in the field, quite literally every position matters. You're looking at a 25-point gap between first and second.
That's right.
Moving into this final test, we have nothing but a burner to finish it out. Both of our multi-extremity divisions are going to be doing 20 chest-to-bar pull-ups and then moving into 30 alternating dumbbell snatches. The men using the honky 70-pound dumbbell and the women using a 50-pound dumbbell.
Never heard it called a honky 70-pound dumbbell.
I like that. I'm going to start using that.
It's cumbersome. What can we say?
Start list, Noelle Henderson in the middle, lane 8 for the women. On the men's side, just 4 athletes left in the competition through 8 events. And Chris Rhyme is in lane 12 with 4 different countries represented. There is Henderson.
Close-up of Henderson there again. Finished on the podium last season, but now looking as the victory lap here in this final test of the weekend, her first Games champion.
37-year-old out of CrossFit Watchtower in Englewood, Colorado.
Of note, that is the home of Kevin Ogar, fittest seated man without hip function in 2022.
Recipe for success, Jason.
We've been
brought to us by Trifecta.
We've been loving, all the previous heats, age group and adaptive. What we're seeing is big sets, and we're going to see that exact same thing right now. Big sets starting from the front and then holding on.
As we get going, Tom, let's talk about what multi-extremity is as a division. We know what upper and lower extremity looks like. We just saw those athletes compete. What are these athletes fighting against?
Of course. So when you think of the idea of multi, we're working with multiple limbs in this situation. A lot of these athletes are dealing with situations that are neuromuscular disorders, such as ataxia, atosis, hypertonia, all things that impair coordination, abnormal muscle contractions, muscle overactivity. Most of them for these athletes are congenital situations. They happened at birth, during labor, early age, and so we're seeing many of them with situations such as cerebral palsy, multiple sclerosis, where as they definitely start to fatigue and move through a workout, that disability becomes more and more prevalent. They're fighting against their body quite a bit. Their CNS can get taxed. Their central nervous system will allow them to, some of the athletes start to shake and tremor a little bit because their body is so overworked. But again, that resilience is what we see out of these athletes, and that's why they're here.
And sometimes some of that movement and exercise actually helps them deal with the condition.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we're seeing some of these athletes that have learned how to fight through that and work to use it to their advantage, which oftentimes when the body gets very tense, which it often can with such situations as hypertonia or extra intensity, that pressing motion becomes a little bit easier. And we're seeing Chris Rhyme just make smooth work of these dumbbell snatches. He had no problem with his chest to bars, a very tall individual himself. Again, all that extra pull working to his advantage, getting great momentum, locking out smoothly overhead. Casey Acree might have a challenge here.
560 of a possible 700 points won by Chris Rhyme coming in. Acree is going to win the best time in the adaptive divisions, but it's going to be darn close.
Yeah.
Inside 2 minutes for Rhyme.
There was a chance.
Very much so.
He could be upset, but Chris knew not today.
That's your champion in the multi-extremity men's division.
Gotta love it. Hug the family. This is Chris's first year at the games. Again, coming home with the championship is just bittersweet for everybody.
Now, Tom, we've been seeing that in the age group, we had some athletes who were doing power snatches, some athletes then switched to squat snatches. Why do you think that for this adaptive group, they're choosing power snatch over squat snatch?
Well, again, that hypertonia and that extra tension that their body often has with most of them a neuromuscular disorder, that tension can be very hard to balance when you're in such a low, deep squat. Adding the overhead stability can make for a very demanding movement on the CNS, so the power snatch, which it is programmed as, is a little bit more feasible and allows the athletes to move efficiently throughout this workout.
There's Jordan Inglesby, who wins the final test for the women.
Jordan sitting in third on the podium, moving into this final workout. She's going to stay third, but again, a podium finish is something that we can all celebrate.
2:42 unofficially
Here we got
Mijail Pedrini out of Montevideo in Uruguay.
and Amaya Reina. Again, she's been sitting in comfortable second place this entire week. She's looking to move really well through these last few snatches.
And Reina, at 19 years old, is the youngest athlete in the adaptive division.
And for some reference, she actually had a stroke in the womb. So before she was born, again, that congenital idea of that disorder happened from an early age.
And Reina finishes with James Brown coming across.
The celebratory flop. Not surprised there. That is a hard workout, a hard test to finish with the week.
Silvestro done in 3:34. Your leader, Noelle Henderson, is a couple of reps left, and here she comes for the ladies multi-extremity.
The victory lap for Noelle again, finishing 2023 as the fittest on earth.
We'll see if Reagan switches to a mixed grip or a supinated grip. She's having a tough time getting the chest to the bar, but she's putting in the work. Look at that. Boom.
Oh. Final athlete out there with a couple of minutes left to go here. This is Reagan Moser out of CrossFit Greater Heights. That is an affiliate that has sent a team and athletes to the games before. Reagan is actually one of those that doesn't have something from birth. Reagan is someone who has had to battle through multiple challenges in her life, hit by a drunk driver in 2017. That caused a spinal cord injury, and then diagnosed with MS 2 years after. She is starting law school at Texas Tech, still to come here, and spending her summer at the CrossFit Games.
It's awesome. It's just cool to see. And you may have noticed, again, a bit more of that neuromuscular impact where as she was trying to go for her last few chest bars, her legs was trembling pretty good. Her CNS was giving her those signals that, hey, we are working really hard right now. Again, she's still moving through these. Again, you're seeing that disability kind of come into play here, the extra fatigue, making things a little bit more demanding. But again, this is nothing that Reagan hasn't ever dealt with before. That is the reason she's out on this floor. That is the reason she's an example for all of us to cherish.
And with 1 minute left to go and 15 reps, she has a chance to finish in what I have to imagine will bring this entire Coliseum to its feet.
Yeah, if you were here right now to see this, you'd see that everybody's cheering for Reagan. She's doing a remarkable job. Again,
she's going to finish. I think
she's got this. She's got this, no problem.
10 reps left to go.
Here you go, Reagan.
Never doubt an adaptive athlete, my friends. Never doubt.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Come on.
They are on their feet for the final 35 seconds.
It's going to be tight. 30 seconds.
5 reps left for Reagan Moser with 30 seconds to go. Moser is done.
Crowd on their feet, fired up. That was awesome.
Incredible.
Cutting
what else do you
onions?
say? I don't know why everything is crying over here.
Why is it blurry right now?
That's why am I foggy? Again, we just saw our multi-extremity, all of our athletes finishing. Take a look back here. We see, again, Chris Ryan making smooth work of those chest to bars, moving well ahead and never looking back. Again, just pure fluidity through every single one of those movements. Just a little bit short of Casey Acree's incredible time, but nothing less than a champion for Chris Ryan at the end of the day. Again, we see Jordan Inglesby finishing through, getting the test win to finish the workout for the women's side, finishing herself on the podium. And again, nothing more exciting than to watch Reagan Moser fight her way through those chest bars, make clean work of the dumbbell snatches, to come across and celebrate an incredible week.
Let's go down to Lauren with Casey Acree.
Yes, your unofficial champion of the men's upper extremity joins me now for your third unofficial at this stage gold medal. What exactly does this mean to you?
I mean, it just means that all the work and sacrifice pays off. You know, I look at this as an opportunity to have fun, really, and express myself. I love training, so I love having something to work towards. So, you know, it's proof that the work that I'm doing is worthwhile. And, you know, I'm just kind of taking it 1 year at a time and just getting to take advantage of every opportunity that I have. And so I just, whatever I'm doing, I try to make sure I'm doing it the best that I can.
You have won 22 tests out of 23. Where does that longevity come from? How?
I mean, I think it comes from having the right background, a good base of support, smart training, Patience, what I always say is I started training like an athlete before I knew that there was going to be an opportunity for me to compete like an athlete. So when this existed, I was already prepared for it. It wasn't something that I was catching up for. And so I think just having the right background and being smart, knowing when is a good day to take off, and not being afraid to work on the things that maybe are my weak points, and be patient about getting better at them.
In the time that you spent within the sport, how much have you seen the adaptive division grow? And with your head on as an adaptive coach for Underdog Athletics, how much do you think it could grow?
Yeah, I mean, I think back to 2017 was my first time competing at Wodapalooza, and back then, I mean, I think we were only in the tens of athletes, and now we're in the hundreds and thousands of athletes signing up for the Open. So yeah, it's grown a ton. For CrossFit to add the divisions has helped, of course, that growth to continue to get bigger and bigger every single year. I think what we as athletes are the biggest thing that we can do as adaptive athletes is we can show people that have impairments, that have disabilities, that there's something that they can be doing. Maybe it's not going to be out here on the competition floor, but it may be something that's just going to allow for them to be a little more independent in their day-to-day life. And so, we're kind of at the peak of that. And so, I think the growth is there, and about 25% of people in the world are living with some sort of disability or impairment. So there's people that need fitness. There's people that need to exercise to help them get through their day. And so, the demand is there for sure.
I hope you are so proud of everything you have achieved this week. Massive congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I trained to be an athlete before I knew there was an opportunity to be an athlete. Maybe the best put phrasing of what it means to be a CrossFit athlete in any division by Casey Acree. Games.crossfit.com for full leaderboard statistics, information, and schedules on the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games as we roll on with our masters and age groups here from the Alliant Energy Center next. (45-49) Masters here in the final test at the Coliseum inside Alliant Energy Center, Madison, Wisconsin, in the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Alongside the fittest seated man on earth 3 years running, he's Tom Miazga, Jason Kalipa, CrossFit Games champion, 8 times CrossFit Games competitor. Lauren Smith, our reporter down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. Some pretty remarkable performances so far in this division. Kelly Friel has wrapped up the championship, as long as she goes out there and does the work here on the final test. Laura Nielsen trying to hang on to a podium spot in 3rd place right now with Carolina Gutierrez on her heels. Jason Grubb, I mean, the man writes Masters programming. He may as well come out here and crush the darn thing. He's in 1st place. Christopher Anderson, a 30-point lead on Mike Kern.
Looking at test number 8 here, it is a barn burner to finish this week. We have 20 bar muscle-ups, moving into 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. Our gentlemen are using the 70-pound dumbbell, and our women are using the 50-pound dumbbell.
Kelly Friel out of Great Britain is in the middle of the floor in lane 5 4 times here at the Games. She's won each of the last 2 years. Has never finished worse than 2nd. On the men's side, we talked about Mike Kern trying to crack the podium in lane 17. Out of CrossFit Garden City in the great state of New Jersey, Jason Grubb is your defending champion. 3-time champion. But Kelly Friel moving up, so she is on the young end of the division, and that can make a difference.
She's in the lead right now by 100 points. And what we know is that the way the point system works here is that it drops down by 10. So she's in a solid position to win overall, but I guarantee you're going to see a lot of effort coming out of her right now.
Grubb made his debut at the Games in 18. He was 3rd, and no one's beaten him since.
I'd say that you're pretty good at what you do then, right?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fun heat. You're going to see some real speed.
Recipe for Success presented by Trifecta. Same old big sets.
Hey, for this group, 45 to 49, I'm gonna actually switch up. I'm gonna say yes, it's big sets, but more than anything, it's no reps, specifically on the snatches. It's gonna be a fast heat.
Here we go to the bar muscle-ups. And it's interesting because even in a 6-minute test, everyone walked to the bar. It's a methodical pace, but an aggressive pace.
Yeah, and also when you're getting ready for bar muscle-ups, you don't necessarily want to jump up from right below. You want to jump up a little bit behind. So you want to be kind of controlled as you walk up to it, get your rhythm. The rhythm, as you can tell from all of these athletes, smooth is fast here. And you're going to see them all go unbroken, or most of them, I'd say.
Again, watching all of these athletes move through that kipping motion with great ease. That kipping allows them to get a little bit of a floating feeling as they're trying to turn their hips and pull up high to the bar. That float allows them to kind of loft over the top and press to finish.
That's right, and the athletes need to make a decision. Am I going to kip harder and receive taller not to burn out my arms? Or maybe not kip as hard, receive lower, and then extend out my arms? They got to make those decisions to see what's going to happen when we get onto that 7-pound snatch.
No surprise, Jason Grubb off the bar first. He was catching his bar muscle-ups incredibly high.
Dude.
Must be something to it.
It is Grubb the first to the dumbbell. Justin LaSala following not too far behind him. I mean, this is a division that has 19 previous Masters appearances in it, 2 previous Elite Games appearances, both by David Levy back in the early aughts. I mean, unfazed. Grubb's just coming out and doing his thing.
Again, we're seeing a 70-pound dumbbell being vaulted overhead, squatting to a full depth underneath. This is a big shoulder burner, and these guys are making it look too easy right now.
And I don't think maybe for people watching this realize just how difficult this is. You can go take a little bag of something at home and try and perform that move. It's going to be difficult as it is, yet alone with a 70-pound dumbbell.
Jason Grubb, he just walked clear off your screen. He's done.
Moving on, smooth and steady. No surprise from our previous champ looking to retain that title. Moving him up next to him there, looks like it's going to be...
We got Ryan Retke, Mike Kern in the mix. Vlad Yashkovich.
Again, we're starting to see those bar muscles have a little bit of an impact. That 50-pound dumbbell is pretty heavy for the women. We're starting to see a few no reps. Getting that lockout has been more of the challenging part rather than the full depth squat. So just, again, a little bit of patience, driving through that with a nice high pull, lifting off the heels, finding that lockout position before we go into that squat to help stack overhead nice and smooth.
That's right. And you see these athletes just descending, just dropping that dumbbell from above the head and just non-stop movement, right? They're not resting on the floor. They don't have to. They're going unbroken here.
Seeing Ryan Rettke make easy work of this, he might also be the largest human being I've ever seen in my life. So there's that.
One of the byproducts of training for the CrossFit Games is just looking like a Jack dad.
As Rettke pushes toward the finish, let's go down and check in with Lauren Smith.
Cheers, guys. I spoke to Kelly's coach, Andy Edwards, of Dragon Athletic CrossFit, a little bit earlier on today, and he told me that her training for the CrossFit Games started after the World Masters Weightlifting Championships in December, so therefore a natural focus was gymnastics. Well, as you can see, she's peaking at the right time because she's on track to win her 3rd consecutive championship and 5th straight podium.
Kelly clearly in control of this test right now, making smooth work. Again, a little bit of issue with keeping the heels on the floor on those squat stanches. But again, at this point in the test, we aren't too surprised by that. But she's quickly rebounding and making smooth work.
Yeah, and look, Kelly already has the win locked up, and she's still out there trying to win this final event, which I assume she's going to win right about now.
That's probably the definition of a competitor, right?
I'd say so.
I mean, you don't want to come out on the last test. Some great competitors might say, and I took that personally.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No doubt to that. Nice to have a little bit of competition around her now. It might help fuel her to get these last few reps in. Oh, a little bit of issue. Again, that shoulder mobility is getting worn out, but she finishes through. Kelly Friel, the champ, once again.
The youngest and tallest in the division.
That excitement, you can tell she's enjoying this.
I like this sprint test for the final event, right? Just really trying to just hit it home in the Coliseum. Solid energy right now after a long week of events.
All of these women giving emphatic results as they cross the finish line. Sheer excitement of an Amy Chapperton over there.
Justin Lasala flipping himself over that finish line.
It's interesting for me to watch how many athletes choose to wear a weight belt, how many athletes choose to wear, Oli shoes, and why, and what are the pros and cons. We'll see how these final heats end up stacking up and what they use.
Jason, this is CrossFit. You wear all the equipment.
You gotta wear, yeah.
Knee sleeves, wrist wraps.
Is it too much if I wear 2 weight belts at the same time?
Oh no, okay. We gotta draw a line somewhere.
We have about 45 seconds left to go here in this heat of 45 to 49-year-old men and women. Overhead mobility is such a key piece of this. If you struggle with overhead mobility, how do you fight through a movement like this?
I mean, at this point, you got to fight through. I mean, look, some guys, they were ending up in their toes. They were maybe using some Oli shoes, etc. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you got to just work range of motion. Like, if you knew this was going to come up, you don't know, but you got to be working those things regularly at home to get to a better position here. If you haven't performed a wall squat, I'd recommend it, right? Walk up close to a wall, get about 6 inches apart, put your hands up against the wall, and see if you descend down into a squat.
Oh, squat therapy. People at Firewall Fitness that show up at the 5:30 and the 7 with Coach Joel know that one.
Yeah.
45-49 men and women complete here in Madison.
Wow. Jason just crushed that.
Yeah, smooth work. Again, his 4th consecutive championship. Jason Grubb, the fittest man on earth in the 45 to 49 division. Look at that, he knows it.
Yeah.
Again, look at how high he's catching these bar muscle ups, making smooth work of these, barely having to straighten his elbows at the end. But it was Ryan Rettke moving really smoothly with that dumbbell to get the test win at the end of the day. Again, emphatic excitement. Maybe more just excitement to be done. But again, we saw Kelly Friel looking smooth and patient with that. Again, a little taxing near the end, but it wasn't going to stop Kelly from capturing her 3rd straight consecutive Fittest on Earth title.
Just rolls right along for Grubb and Friel. Spencer Whiteley.
The smile says it all on Kelly. She knows what she's done. Again, Jason Grubb celebrating with the family. It's definitely a team effort at this level. There's a lot of support that goes into being the best in the world.
40 to 44-year-old men and women. Final test here for the Masters inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center. 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. He's a Masters athlete, Jason Kalipa, 8-time CrossFit Games athlete. Tom Miazga joining us as well, the 3-time fittest seated man on earth. Lauren Smith is down on the floor. My name is Joel Gadek. Glad to have you along with us. The biggest name we're going to see throughout the course of our Masters coverage today, Samantha Briggs, former CrossFit Games champion in her own right. She has a 20-point lead over Andrea Pinheiro, and then Rebecca Voigt-Miller going for her 5th Masters podium on the women's side. Rudolph Berger up by 100 points on the men's tally. Our description brought to us by Surface Comb. Got a nice little couplet here.
We do. A quick barn burner, that is, too. Test number 8 is going to be 20 bar muscle-ups for our individuals, moving into 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. Our gentlemen are using a 70-pound dumbbell, and the women are using a 50-pound dumbbell for this test.
Start list for the ladies. Your leader is in the middle. Sam Briggs in lane 5. Jen Ryan out of Invictus. 15 athletes from Invictus competing over 15 years of the CrossFit Games this year. On the men's side, Rudolph Berger is in lane 15, leading the way. Take a look at our athletes to watch. Well, this one was fairly obvious on the women's side. It is a tight battle, so Sam Briggs does have some work to do here.
3 athletes we've all known well for a very long time in the CrossFit scene. We're excited to see how this one finishes out.
Recipe for Success is presented by Trifecta. And when it comes down to 2 movements, they don't have a ton of margin for error.
For me, it's about moving fast but staying in control here. They need to get these big sets, but by the time they get onto the dumbbell, big differentiator is going to be who's going to be able to put it up overhead and stay in control. A little bit of wobble there could cause a no rep, which could be the difference between them winning the event or not.
And we are off to the muscle-ups.
Just as we've seen in the previous heats, these are going to be smooth, big kipping motions, barely having to extend those elbows at the top of the rep. These guys and these ladies are using their kip to their advantage, pulling those hips incredibly high to the bar, almost as if they're doing an inverted row, if you would.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at home and you're saying, hey, I want to do a bar muscle up, don't think about it so much as a pull to a press. Think about it as a slight lean back, driving the bar towards your hip. So you're almost like horizontal and then sitting up. Go find a coach at a local CrossFit gym. They'll help you get one.
Maybe someday you'll be looking like these athletes out here. Again, we're at a point now with these divisions where speed is making a big impact on how this workout or this test finishes.
Yeah.
Schedule a no-cost 15-minute evaluation and find out if Erasti treatment is right for you. Get pain-free. Now available across the U.S. Scan the QR code and get started today. And it is Samantha Briggs who comes off the rig first. She is not the first to pick up the the dumbbell, though.
So you're getting some judges who are calling out no reps for different specific reasons. It's staying in control. As soon as you hear that no rep, you got to make an adjustment. Otherwise, you're going to lose. Look at these guys.
Yeah.
Right neck to neck.
It's interesting to watch because you may see this movement on your TV screen right now, on your phone, wherever you're watching, and it may look like a simple movement, but this is incredibly complex. The delicate technique that it takes to make sure you're locking out that dumbbell overhead, hitting that full depth squat, feeling stable on your heels as you drive deep, right? This is a much more complex movement than it may look to see.
František Haraban leading the way, the Slovakian out of CrossFit Density. 5th at the Games as a master in 2021.
These athletes knew what they were getting into when they signed up for this test in particular, right? This one's gonna hurt. You're going unbroken on the bar muscle-ups. You're going basically unbroken on those snatches, and that's why at the end, there you see athletes just laying it out.
Pinheiro was the first to make it to this second grouping of 10. Sam Briggs is still back on the first 10. Now she's done and advancing. Briggs' lead is 20 points. That's the difference in 2 spots on the leaderboard. And there are more than 2 people right now between Pinheiro and Briggs.
And we're seeing Pinheiro starting to get no reps. We're having a little bit of issue of keeping that right ankle on the floor right now. And definitely adjusting her squat to try and make these manageable. But we'll see if she can keep on and hold on.
If Sam Briggs can put it away here, she would become the first person in CrossFit Games history to ever win at the elite level and in a Masters division.
Wow.
Really?
That's some history right there.
Oh, man. Let's go,
Got some
Sam.
work to do, though. We got to see her move through these now.
The lead
Nice
for
race
Briggs
going
is
on.
20 points only.
Seeing most of our athletes making their way to their final dumbbell, and we have our first finisher. Looking to be Michael Leverrier, finishing through that final rep. Lane number 14 down there.
That's a 3-minute sprint right there.
That's pretty impressive.
And Pinheiro finishes.
Oh.
Excuse me, that's Cicero that came across first.
Hope Cicero, okay.
So Pinheiro is still out there. And here comes Jen Ryan from Invictus.
Okay. We got a little bit of shakeup. All three of our athletes vying for that title still out on the floor right now. And Sam Briggs has moved to that final dumbbell. Let's see if she can close this out. She's moving really efficiently right now. And again, Pinheiro's getting more no reps, so Sam has a window.
Jen Ryan finishing. She was only 20 points off the podium, so Jen Ryan is putting herself in a real good spot because none of the top three have finished yet.
And there's Sam Briggs.
There is Sam
From way
Briggs.
behind. Wow.
And now
Pinheiro comes in behind her.
So Briggs beats out Pinheiro,
And
solidifies
there's Voigt Miller
herself
finishing.
as Becca Voigt-Miller comes across third of that trio.
It's going to be tight.
I don't even know how it's going to finish.
It's going to be tight. Wow, what a race.
But can you expect anything less from Sam Briggs, right? The engine that she's always poised or come with every level of this sport so far. I mean, there's no surprise to see her finish the way she did.
Sam Briggs, she represents CrossFit, right? Longevity. She's also firefighter, right? She's out there, she's working full time, she's crushing it, and she's won the games, and she comes back and she does amazing here.
Yeah, if I lived in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio area and my house was on fire, I would call 911
Say, Sam
and then I'd
Briggs.
be like, but can you send the fit one? You know, the fast one?
She can probably carry that fire hose all by herself just fine.
We still have about 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go here in the cap.
There it is. Looks like lane number 13, Kane Hayes out there. Getting that dumbbell is a very, very heavy dumbbell, and coming off of 20 bar muscle-ups, those shoulders are feeling it, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, for some athletes, if this just isn't in the cards for them, it's very difficult to perform 30 of them, especially coming off those bar muscle-ups.
You can see Hayes coming into his toes on that one.
Yeah. Again, that overhead mobility, just being able to lock out and press actively into the air with that 70-pound dumbbell. If you're not doing that, then you're relying a lot on those hips and even on those quads to try and hold you upright, and that's where we're seeing him go to his toes.
That's right, and for most of these athletes, they're probably aware they have maybe some deficiencies they're working on. If you're at home right now, just try and go into a lower range squat, crease your hip below the knee joint. Can you even do that? If not, let's start working on it.
Again,
Final 10 squat snatches for Kane Hayes with 10 seconds to go. And he just got hit with a no rep for depth.
Oh, man.
even a 6-minute workout, it can feel like 30 minutes.
Oh, man. That's a tough test for him.
There she is. Sam
Way to go.
Briggs, our
Solid
champion
effort.
there, our men's champion, Rudolph Berger. Again, Berger came into this workout already knowing that this was a bit of a victory lap for him here, but wasn't going to leave anything to chance near the end. We saw Michael Leverrier taking the test win here to finish out his week. And again, an incredible sprint on the end of the women's side. It was Hope Cicero taking the test win in test 8. But again, our three-way battle between three incredibly well-known CrossFit athletes, Sam Briggs taking the most of the opportunity. We're going to have to see how this shakes out. We don't quite know yet who our champion is going to be.
We do know who the champion is on the men's side, and he is with Lauren Smith.
He is indeed Rudolph Berger, defending a championship. Is it easier said than done?
It is much easier said than done, absolutely. But with the team behind me, the work we put in, all the sacrifice, family lifestyle balance, you can make your dreams happen, absolutely. And doing it twice is twice as nice.
Talk me through the sacrifices you do make at this level. With all your family there behind you, they're the ones who probably take the brunt of it. What do you want to say to them?
I want to say thank you for standing behind me through all of this and believing in me and convincing me that I should do this CrossFit stuff. And I guess I'm pretty good at it. So thanks for the encouragement, guys.
it's not just that, is it? Because I hear that even your mum does CrossFit in the affiliate. And how old is she, and how impressed are you of people like her?
Oh, so my mom is 74, right, Mom? 75. It brings tears to my eyes when I know how hard our affiliate works. We're all ages, and that's the true spirit of CrossFit. We all can do this if we choose to and make that decision to put fitness in our life.
Huge congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you so much.
75, they got a division for that.
They absolutely do.
Masters of all ages. We have 4 more heats to go. The boys, 16 and 17. The men and women, 35 and 39. We are almost home for the age groups here in Madison. We're set for the final test for the ladies 16 and 17-year-old division here inside the Coliseum at Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. The 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games here in Wisconsin for the final time, alongside the former champ Jason Kalipa, the Paralympian Tom Biasca. Lauren Smith is down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. Final test is test 8, and 2 women have just smoked this competition. And you would expect that from both Lucy McGonigal and Trista Smith.
Right, we're looking at 2 athletes here who actually competed in semifinals events. Lucy competed in the Europe semifinal, and Trista competed in the North American West semifinal.
And their test that they have to complete here in their 8th and final test, 2 movements and a burner.
Yep, we're looking at a 6-minute time cap to see these ladies go through 20 bar muscle-ups and then work through 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. Our ladies are going to be using a 50-pound dumbbell as they traverse down the field every 10 reps.
This is going to be exciting right now. I'm excited to watch all these athletes get after it. In particular, Lucy, right? She's in the lead right now. She's only 16 years old. That means she can have another year here. Who knows what's going to happen?
Lucy McGonigal in the middle of the field as your leader. In lane 7, Trista Smith. In lane 6, Haley Rolfe, incredibly strong. Ooh. In lane 9, multi-year games athlete. There is Lucy McGonigal, who did compete in the European semifinal. It was funny going into that. She said, there's a 1 in a million chance I qualify as an elite athlete. I'm just trying to go soak it in and have the experience. I think she took from it.
She learned how to dominate a little bit, wouldn't you say?
And that is the training partner of Ellie Turner and Justin Medeiros, Trista Smith from CrossFit Fort Vancouver.
Final event. This is where it counts. These guys, they must be stoked right now. I mean, this is it. 16, 17-year-olds. They're about to smash these bar muscle-ups.
And that recipe for success brought to us by Trifecta.
You know, for me, the recipe for success here, I know they're going to go big sets. I know they're going to smash the dumbbell. The key here is not blowing up on those bar muscle-ups. If they feel fatigued, they need to come off, shake it out, and then hit another set. If they keep going too long, it may impact them on the snatches. We'll see how it goes.
Off to the bar muscle-ups here. Schedule a no-cost 15-minute evaluation to find out if a Rosti treatment is right for you. You can get paid and free. It's now available across the U.S. Scan the QR code on your screen to get started.
Let's not let age fool you at all here, right? These ladies are looking like the elite of elite athletes on these bar muscle-ups right now. Again, using that beautiful high kip, pulling the bar as close to their hips as they possibly can. And again, just barely needing an elbow extension at the top to lock out.
All of them are smashing. In particular, I'm excited to see Haley get onto the dumbbell. She has the highest total out of any age group female, which is super cool.
Yeah, in the Olympic total test earlier this week, yeah.
Tremendous rep skills as well with her former Games teammate Rebecca Devine.
Ooh.
Shouts to them.
No surprise, we see both Lucy and Trista making their way to the dumbbell at the exact same time. And now it's about staying poised, staying smooth, and just driving through that squat.
Jason, what is this like? Lucy McGonigal has a sizable lead on Trista Smith, but to have your top competitor immediately next to you as you're racing down the field?
There's no better motivation, right? Because you know, hey, if I beat them, I get my better performance. If they beat me, you know where the rabbit you're trying to chase, right? I've been in those times before, and this is where it all counts. As a competitor, you live for these moments right now.
Right now, it's Jenna Michelotti way up there in lane number 3, just making smooth work. Look at the amount of pull she's driving her body underneath that dumbbell right now. Oh, excuse me, I said my wrong name there. That's Burgo's born daughter. Again, still making smooth work. That Icelandic background right there out of CrossFit Reykjavik. She's probably got some good training partners up there, wouldn't you say?
I'd say she has a few. Yeah, a couple. Yeah, multiple-time CrossFit Games champion Annie Thor's daughter's out there. Look at that.
We are sub 2 minutes into her last 10 squat snatches already.
And Bjorn's daughter all ahead of the field. Wow. And here comes Smith and McGonigal within steps of one another. Lucy McGonigal in her first year as a comp train athlete has spent about the last month in Natick, Massachusetts, preparing for this opportunity, trying to defend her title from the younger division as she aged up this year. The youth trying to get to Trista Smith. They are neck and neck here, and they just, look at that, each got hit with no reps as Bjorn's daughter comes across first.
Keep an eye out there in lane number 8, Reese Littlewood, still making work. She could cause an in-between. Oh, it's not going to happen. Lucy and Trista are going to get in together. It's not enough room. I think Lucy's going to hang on to the title.
It was a 40-point difference. Smith gave it all she could, but listen, at the end of the day, you can only control you, and Lucy McGonigal controlled herself.
That's it. That's all you can do. You can't control anybody else.
Again, just over 3 minutes into this test, final test of the week for our 16, 17-year-old women. Just a few athletes left out here. Again, still making smooth work. I don't think most affiliates have their men doing 50-pound dumbbell squat snatches, so let alone the 16, 17-year-old girls just making complete work.
Could you imagine one of these girls going into a gym and just be like, oh, I just want to get in a workout, and all of a sudden they start throwing around a 50-pound dumbbell? Wow, look at that.
Willard called for a no rep. She takes out the judge. That was a great Herb Dean right there.
I've never seen that before.
Haley Rolfe comes across, and now Hayes Willard over the finish line.
So Hayes, they're in a foot race. She thinks she's there. Boom, she gets called for no rep, knocks over the referee. Oh, man, for the judge. Man, that was
an exciting finish, and all of our ladies finishing under that 4-minute threshold.
Lucy McGonigal will win. Trista Smith, her first teenage podium, comes in second. There's the Herb Dean.
I think the NFL Combine happened a few weeks ago. Am I wrong? I don't know. But a valiant effort nonetheless. And again, the poise to come back, grab that dumbbell, and finish out. Always good to see.
That double clothesline was better than you, Bebe Worthy. Lucy McGonigal is your champion, though. In the 14 to 15-year-old division, she ages up and wins again.
I have a feeling we're going to be hearing that name for a few more years after this, if I'm not mistaken. Again, we see all of our ladies. Again, we saw it was Bjorn's daughter first off those bar muscle-ups. Smooth work, going right into that beautiful squat snatch. Hitting depth, pulling her body well underneath. Again, our classic battle of Lucy and Trista, something we've heard all week long. But it was Bjorn's daughter keeping her composure, crossing the finish line with enthusiasm. Nothing better than picking up a test win to close out the week.
She's put on a clinic.
Yeah. All of these ladies have.
And to talk about their favorite things about the UK, here is Lauren Smith with Lucy McGonigal.
Lucy, an unofficial back-to-back championship in an age group where you're a year young. Does it make all of that hard work worth it?
100%. It's crazy, and to be honest, I didn't 100% know if I was going to do this weekend, but I'm so glad I did.
What put doubts in your mind?
I think just, obviously, throughout the year, you have no one to compare yourself to. I train on my own mostly, so I never really know how I'm doing. But yeah, it's just good. It's all paid off.
Last time we saw you, it was at the Elite Individual European semi-final. How did that experience help prepare you for this weekend?
Yeah, it was crazy, and I think just getting more used to the atmosphere and the crowd and everyone around you, it was just amazing. So it was, yeah.
Massive congratulations. Go and enjoy the moment.
Thank you so much.
Lucy McGonigal, back-to-back champion here at the CrossFit Games. And someone who, well, we'll see if she defends it next year or if she plays in another pool. That's still to be determined. Much more to come here in Madison. The future is in front of your eyes. Teenage boys, 16 and 17-year-olds. The final test here at the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center. Madison, Wisconsin. Jason Kalipa, CrossFit Games champion. Tom Miazga, 3-time fittest seated man on earth. Lauren Smith down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. 7 tests in the bag for these athletes. That's produced Ty Jenkins a championship. His 3rd. 100 points is the difference in the test. He's up by more than that. You know that he has won his 3rd consecutive title. Only the 2nd person to ever do that in the teenage division. The other one, Dallin Pepper. He is in his 2nd year as an elite this season. It is elite company. The final test, 2 movements, Tom.
It literally is called the final test, test number 8. We've got 20 bar muscle-ups moving into 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. These young fellows are going to be using a 70-pound dumbbell as they move through this workout, but don't blink, it's going to go quick.
They are literally wiping down some of the pull-up bars here to make sure their grip is okay. Ty Jenkins in the middle, lane 5. But the race outside of first place is the ridiculous one, because 3rd through 6th is separated by 10 points. Caden Myers, Kyle McElroy, Caden Hogan, and the defending champion from the lower division, RJ Mestry, aging up to the 16 and 17-year-olds this year. That is going to be ridiculous.
You can see a literal tie between 3rd and 5th place. 6th place, just 10 points back at 400 points. It's going to be wild.
We've had an exciting night so far, but this is one right here that's going to be fast, and it's going to be something special to watch. I can't wait.
Recipe for Success is presented by Trifecta, and Jason, it includes what?
Oh, going fast. In this particular case, it's these boys are going to go fast. They're going to go unbroken, and they have to stay composed on the snatch. That's what it's going to come down to, in my opinion. The snatch for all of these guys.
Those 16, 17-year-old boys, they can get a little antsy once in a while, so they might run to that dumbbell maybe just a little too fast, but there is no room for error in this test.
Yeah, no room. Literally, they're going to finish in sub 3 minutes. So what that tells me is that every single rep counts. It has to be calculated.
Sub 3. We've seen this test in other divisions done in sub 2. We'll see if we get some hair on fire.
Yeah, we'll see. I think for this particular division, given the 70-pound dumbbell, we'll see. We'll see.
Let's get down to Lauren Smith.
I was chatting to Ty Jenkins' coach, former Games athlete Jessica Cahoy. They've started working together this year, and in terms of approaching the week, she asked him not to get caught up in the initial race, reminding him it's totally okay not to finish first every single time. And he's approached it with a maturity that's so beyond his years. I asked about future plans. She said that she wants him to be the first teen boy to make that jump from teen to indie without skipping a year.
Coach and new mom, Jessica Cahoy, within the last year. So congratulations to her in Austin and the job she has done coaching Ty Jenkins. No one has ever made that jump as an 18-year-old to the elite division. We saw Haley Adams do it for the first time on the women's side in 2019, and now you've got Olivia Kerstetter at 17 getting the job done.
See, that's what I'm talking about, right? Everybody comes off the bar muscle up sub 1 minute. We knew that was going to happen, but then as soon as you get onto that, that was an initial no rep, right? And these reps are going to count.
Ty Jenkins is your leader. He is your champion. He's in the middle of the floor, but the race for 3 through 6 is the one to watch.
It's a very interesting point that Lauren brought up. And you think about a 16, 17-year-old boy being on the floor as they are here, the adrenaline has just got to be insane.
Absolutely.
So to have the maturity and have the poise to stay composed, not worry about what those around you are doing, right? That's proven to work really well for Ty. But we're seeing a really good race out in front here.
Isaiah Weber.
4 boys already making their way to their 2nd round of dumbbell squat snatch.
That's right. We're not going to see sub 2, but we will see low 2s, I think, is going to happen right now.
Isaiah Weber was the first man to make it to this 2nd group of the dumbbell squat snatches. Didn't qualify last year as a 16-year-old, but he was 2nd as a 15-year-old the year prior. That's typically the progression, and it's why Ty Jenkins' 3 straight titles is impressive.
Wow. I don't know. Look at that guy. He looks like he's already 26 by the size of him. I don't know what you're talking about.
RJ Mestry is the first one of that 3 through 6 to make it to the final 10, and he was barking as he got to the last round.
Let's go. Wow, yeah, RJ, Games champ last year. He knew what he had to do. Again, we've seen it a few times, the full send mentality, and it's paid off almost every single time so far. Let's see if RJ can finish this out and get himself on the podium.
Well, Weber wins the test.
Wow. That was
225.
Okay,
You called it.
But
Yeah,
here
you called
comes
it.
Mestri.
Oh.
That could be a podium
Wow.
for last year's younger division champion.
Let's go.
We see KO out there in lane number 1 finishing up as well. Finishing third place in this test. A nice way to end the weekend for him. It was a neck-and-neck race. It's Caden Hogan. Again, there was a fight for that third place spot. 4 individuals fighting for it. We'll have to see how this all shakes out.
Caden Hogan and Caden Myers.
It's
Finishing
Caden
it up.
Myers with the foot first slide out of Electric City Fitness down in South Carolina.
And they have those chip timers right around the ankle, and they have to get across the finish line. So we'll see. Oh yeah, you see the times right there.
Just
so
a mere 3 minutes, 10 seconds into this test so far. 1 athlete remaining out there, Gustavo Push, hanging out there in lane number 2, making smooth work.
Look at that. Basically the entire heat, sub 3.
And Push has to take a break. You go back to the old Pat Sherwood line. Do you know how good you have to be to finish last at the CrossFit Games? Push is the only man on that floor. And there are 2.5 minutes until the cap.
Yeah.
And again, he's still moving better than, let's say, I don't know, 98% of the population.
I'd say 99.5. Yeah. Wow.
Final rep for the Brazilian.
And he's put in the work, man. There's no lack of effort on
You can
that.
tell there's 8 tests under that body right now. He's feeling it, but a little bit of resilience.
Wow.
And there he is.
Isaiah Weber wins the test. But the event is won by Ty Jenkins. 3 championships for the teenager.
Wow.
And next in his sights is going to be a semifinal appearance and qualification, something that has never happened for an 18-year-old coming out of the teenage bracket. Again, Weber from the jump.
Yeah, and again, we're seeing KO got off the pull-up bar actually first out there in lane number 1, but then it was Weber who made, as you can tell, a very excited move on those dumbbell squat snatches. With the size of that physique, he clearly had no problem with that weight. But it was RJ Mestre out there in lane number 4, taking care of work.
As we go down to Lauren and Ty Jenkins.
Ty Jenkins, your 3rd consecutive teenage championship. It's been a journey. How does it feel to be coming towards the end of it with another gold medal?
It feels really good. Just 3 long years of work, and ever since I won the first one, this was kind of the goal. I've always looked up to like Dallin Pepper, and that's what he did as a teenager. But it feels good. It's kind of all I got right now.
I was speaking to your coach, Jessica Cahoy, earlier on, and she told me she wants you to be the first teenage boy to level up without missing a year into the elites. Do you share the same ambitions?
Yeah, that's something we've been working on since the beginning of this season, so that's kind of been our long-term goal for a while now.
You got what it takes?
We'll see.
Can't wait to find out. Great job this weekend. Enjoy all the moments.
Thank you.
Well, Haley Adams called her shot after winning back in 2018. She said, I'll see you next year. A little bit more of a reserved approach for Ty Jenkins here in 2023, but that's a quiet confidence.
Man.
The teenagers are done. We have 2 heats to go, men and women, 35 to 39, and then the age groups are done in Madison. Totally. Take a timeout. Come on back to the Alliant Energy Center next. 35 to 39-year-old women, the final test here at the Coliseum inside the Alliant Energy Center, Madison, Wisconsin. 7 tests previous, this to crown the champion. Alongside the champions, Jason Khalipa and Tom Miazga. Lauren Smith is our reporter down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. Lori Clement, a 50-point lead over Colette Casey. It is not insurmountable, it is significant. So there is still work to be done here. That podium race, though, is interesting. The queen of the white shorts, Stacy Tovar, she is 10 points off the podium in 4th place.
That's exciting.
Amy Morton also in the hunt, 10 points out in 5th place, as we take a look at what test number 8 is.
No better way to finish the strong week with a speedy sprint. Test number 8 is going to be 20 bar muscle-ups into 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. Our ladies will be using a 50-pound dumbbell this afternoon for that movement.
Athletes being introduced on the floor individually, one at a time. They get the star treatment here as we fill out the lanes. Lori Clement in lane 5, Colette Casey in lane 6. We did have 2 withdrawals. Chelsea Nicholas had to withdraw midway through the competition while in the lead. And then, of course, China Cho withdrew before competition began, but acknowledging those 2 ladies' accomplishments to this point in this season. Lori Clement was 55th in the elite semifinals this year coming out of Europe. She right now is in the driver's seat. Her last 3 tests, first, and 3rd, to put her in this position. She's being chased by Colette Casey.
Interesting note about Colette Casey, 2022 Open worldwide, finished 4th overall. Overall.
Man, I'm telling you, don't blink on this one, folks. This is going to be a fast race right now.
Former soccer player and Florida State Seminole, Colette Casey.
All right.
Recipe for Success presented by Trifecta.
For the ladies, here's what's going to be. They're going to go unbroke on these bar muscle-ups. They're going to go unbroke on these snatches. I think what's going to come down to is transitions with this particular group. Going from the first set to the second set, they're going to need to be jogging if they want to win this event. Sub 3 minutes for everybody.
To the bar muscle-ups. How many, if any, go unbroken here, Jason?
I anticipate all of them.
I've left him flabbergasted.
I anticipate all of them.
What else is there to do, right? These are the elite of the masters, if you will, right? They are fresh, some of them fresh out of the elite divisions, moving into that 35 age group. And many of them are recognizable names that we've seen in years past.
Yeah, I mean, you might have 1 or 2 who don't go unbroken, but if you want to win, if you came into the CrossFit Games as an age group competitor saying, I want to win, that was the goal, you got to go unbroken here.
Well, Colette Casey does break, a quick chalk break here. Head to surfacedirect.com today to pick up your floor trusted by CrossFit for your gym back home. That is surfacedirect.com.
Stacy Tovar going unbroken.
And it's interesting to watch. We can see that a lot of these women are taking a bit of a bigger pause at the top. They do know that that squat snatch is going to be laborious near the end of this test. So taking their time, being patient, being able to move effectively as they get to that dumbbell.
Stacy Tovar first to the dumbbell, down to Lauren Smith.
I spoke to Stacy yesterday, and she told me that in this experience she's having this week, she actually PR'd her snatch and clean and jerk for the first time since having her baby boys. She also PR'd her 5K by 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And when I saw her, she said she was nervous, anxious, excited, a little bit sore heading into the final, but enjoying every second. And as of tomorrow, you'll be seeing her on our TV coverage, and we're very excited to have her.
First time here at the game since 2017 for Stacy.
You saw that, right? They were jogging to the next set. They are neck and neck. It's going to be who goes from these dumbbell snatches to the last set and speeds through it. Watch this. They're going to sprint.
There you can see Stacy Tovar had the close-up there. To her right is Amy Morton out there in lane number 3. Ocean State CrossFit, again, moving really well with Stacy, rep for rep right now.
And they are both tied right now, 10 points off the podium.
Look at that, look at
that.
Morton knows.
Strap in, 10 reps to go. Amy knows what she's got to do. She has about a 1 rep lead right now. making smooth work. Again, a nice high pull for Amy. She's driving that dumbbell high, keeping her knuckles close to her midline, and as she's finishing that pull, she's dropping into that squat, staying glued to those heels, and really pressing to lock out that dumbbell overhead.
And a no rep.
She's going to do it.
And a no rep.
She's going to do it.
Yeah, Morton had to pause for a moment. Maybe that opens the door to get on the podium. Stacey Tovar, she's done first. She's back at the games, and she might be taking home a medal.
How about that?
Dude, right at the end, that no rep right there.
Oh, there's poise from Stacey right there. She's been there before. She's been there before. What a finish.
Look at these guys. We're 3 minutes in, and almost all the athletes are going to be complete in just a few seconds here.
Yeah.
Svetlana Veselova was in 3rd place coming into this final test. She right now is in 6th of 8 women. So Tovar,
she's done her job.
She's taking a medal.
She's done her job. Absolutely. There's no denying it.
Just for everybody watching, just to confirm, that's a 50-pound dumbbell, right?
Yeah. Supposed to be.
They're making it look like it's a, 15.
Yeah, go ahead and take that bag of water softener at home and try and throw it overhead and see how it feels, right? Wow. And just like that, we see our last athlete 3 minutes, 37 seconds into this test.
Now that is Lori Clement. Colette Casey was 50 points back. I don't think that's going to be enough for Casey to wind up taking home first, but it's certainly going to make the math intriguing.
Yeah, it's close. But I think you're right. I don't think the points will work out.
It should unofficially be a championship still for Lori Clement.
Wow, that was fast. That was a great heat.
Stacey Tovar, though, I mean, you talk about the determination of a champion. What's the test? Go out and do it. She was down by 10. She wins.
And again, we see all of our ladies here on that bar muscle up, making smooth work. Again, taking a little bit longer pause at the top just to make sure they're staying composed. And again, as we see what happened there, Amy Morton had a no rep, tried to switch hands, but went a little bit too soon. She had to go back and replace that rep that she had missed earlier. That gave Stacey the window to come across that line and hopefully find herself on the podium at the end of the night. And again, we're just as happy for Stacey as she is here.
Well, she executed great on that, right? She did exactly what she needed to do to get that win.
Infectious smile right there.
Lori Clement came into the test in the pole position, and it appears she will be there after the test. She's with Lauren Smith.
Lori, you came into this event with the lead, but you made it tough on yourself. Talk me through that final event for you.
It was very difficult because I have a lot of no rep for my squat, but I did it, and then I'm very happy. Sorry.
What does it mean to you to see out what's been such a tight battle all weekend between yourself, Colette Casey, and in a field that features Stacey Tovar? It's a very incredible accomplishment.
Yes, it's very incredible. I like my quick. I'm wow. It's a good pleasure, and I want to say thanks to my family, my box, my friends, and all.
Allez le bleu!
Sorry.
Lori Clement qualified for semifinals as an individual, on a team, and as a master at the CrossFit Games.
Wow.
Tremendous season. She wins 35 to 39-year-old women.
Wow.
Oh, Stacey
And Stacey Tovar jumps into second.
Wow. The event win, or the test win, gives her the second place podium finish. We'll talk about poise and composure at the end there to stay true to herself.
Casey third, Amy Morton in fourth place, just 10 points off the podium. But it is Stacy Tovar who dominates in the limelight. We have one heat left. Men, 35-39. See if we can't get that elation with one more heat to go. the last thing to see today here at the CrossFit Games, Madison, Wisconsin. It's the men's final test in the age group 35 to 39. Alongside Jason Khalipa, the one-time fittest man on earth, Tom Miazga, the three-time defended fittest seated man on earth. Lauren Smith, our reporter down on the floor. My name is Joel Godet. 35 to 39-year-old masters is always an interesting bracket because you look at this, if you follow the sport at the elite level, and you say, I know those names. Scott Panchik makes his masters debut this year, currently in 6th place, but only 40 points back of a podium spot. Adam DeYoung is right behind Brian Wong, the defending champion, and Sam Dancer, known for all those years as a teams athlete, specifically with CrossFit Conjugate back in the day. Sets up right now as your leader for this final test.
Final test, final heat of the night. Final test is going to be 20 bar muscle-ups, moving into 30 alternating dumbbell squat snatches. These gents are using a 70-pound dumbbell as they make their way down the floor every 10 reps.
Stephen Fawcett, head of JST training out of Great Britain in lane 2. He was at the European Elite semifinal. Panchik will be in lane 9, right next to the defending champ Brian Wong. Patrikis, the only athlete from Lithuania competing at the games, is in lane 7. But Sam Dancer,
he already has it locked up, but you know he's going to send it right now.
100%. There's nothing less from Sam.
Well, you know he's poured himself into this because last year he had a bicep tear that limited him to just running in the first test of the games. He got to the rope climbs, tapped out, and said, I'm done. He wanted this chance to take down Brian Wong, the defending champion out of the Hoosier State in Indiana.
Man, Brian Wong looks ready too.
Recipe for Success, presented by Trifecta.
I've been saying it all day, but this one in particular. Unbroken muscle-ups, non-negotiable. Unbroken squat snatches, non-negotiable. And you are running between the sets. That's what it's going to take the W on this event. Don't blink, folks. It's going to happen right now. Let's go.
Already saw the intensity as they ran right from their gumdrop right up to that bar. Again, we are not going to see that same little bit of a pause that we saw with our women on the top of the bar here. These men are going to move through these 20 as if it were 5.
Well, Invictus has 15 athletes here in their 15th year at the games. One of them, Sam Dancer. Lauren Smith has more.
I was just backstage with Sam and he had the biggest grin on his face. He said, of course, he's going to go out hard and give this all he's got, but he also is going to take in every single second. His eyesight's going to be on his family and the crowd, and he's just going to soak it all in.
These guys are going to be off these bar muscle-ups in the next, I'd say, probably 7 to 8 seconds, and they are going to run to that dumbbell.
Imagine what it's like to know you have a championship locked up.
Look at that.
Giannis Papadopoulos there, making smooth work. This is going to be his strength here too. If you missed it earlier in the competition, Papadopoulos combined for an Olympic total of 670 pounds. I don't know if you can put that together. That was a 365-pound clean and jerk and a 305-pound snatch. Man. Those numbers are going to be incredible for years to come.
And Dancer is the last man to make it off of the bar. But again, he leads by 100. So he has this test locked up. And Jason, he can soak it up, right? He can get into a final test knowing he just has to get through it and enjoy the moment.
And Giannis, we'll see what happens here. This is a race right now.
Yeah. Good to see Scott Panchik down there in lane number 9. Still making quick work of those dumbbells. A familiar place near the top of the pack every time for that guy.
Brian Wong right next to him.
It's fun to watch these guys. As you mentioned earlier, Joel, I remember when I first got into CrossFit 6-7 years ago, and these are the names that I saw. And I wanted to be just like them.
Oh, there's the race. Here comes Papadopoulos.
Okay.
He is about a rep and a half ahead of Panchik. Wong is right on their heels.
Oh, man. Giannis, he's crushing this. He's coming out of that pocket fast. So is Scott.
Look out for the length of his legs, right? He's really driving well through those squats.
Man.
They like people named Giannis in this state.
I just, oh boy. Scott might catch him.
Scott
might catch him.
Panchik, one rep. There he goes. Panchik goes foot first.
I think it's Scott Panchik.
Papadopoulos went shoulder first.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I knew this one was going to be a fire heat, and it was.
This is the best part now. Everybody grabs their kids, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's going to be Panchik.
Scott,
It's going to be Scott. That replay is giving us clear evidence. He got that foot out in front first.
Veteran move. Chip timbers on your leg.
That is a veteran move,
He's
right?
been there a few times.
Sometimes you got baseball slide. You just got to make it happen.
And there it is.
And Sam Dancer
Redemption has been found.
with his former Games athlete wife, Jen.
You can't help but feel happy for that guy. Wow. What a year it's been for him.
And Sam's daughter is in the front row as well.
His wife, Jen Dancer, excuse me, former competitor herself, a well-known name in the CrossFit sphere.
What incredible heat, man.
Oh,
everyone's
finished the night.
You called it, man.
328.
Hey, but it was a sprint in between, right?
100%.
I mean, every single rep counted. It's like almost like a Fran.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Hey, you can't hold back.
Not my friend.
Wow, that was exciting. Heck yeah, Scott.
0.16 of a second. 0.45, he edges out Papadopoulos. 0.61.
Wow.
I got to give credit, man. Papadopoulos, he was crushing those snatches.
Especially for such a big guy to move through those bar muscle-ups as well as he did. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Taking a look back, you can see all of our gentlemen on that pull-up bar making clean work, but the race really came down to Brian Wong, Giannis Papadopoulos, and Scott Panchik. Again, Scott just leaving it all on the floor in those last 10 reps, and the big ankle-first dive to the finish gets him that win by 16/100ths. As a former swimmer, I can tell you that that is an uncomfortable place to be.
What's cool about a guy like Scott Panchik, too, is if you walk into CrossFit mentality, good chance that man's coaching your class.
That's absolutely right. I mean, look at this guy, multi-time CrossFit Games. And here's the thing about Scott. He has gotten, what, fourth? We said 4 times, was it?
Four times.
Man.
3 times he's been fourth. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Consistently performing.
Well, first, for the first time, is Sam Dancer. He is with Lauren.
Sam, after the career you've had, you finally leave a CrossFit Games with a gold medal around your neck. What exactly does this moment mean to you?
I've been training my whole life to be a world champion. And gosh damn, I finally did it, and it feels really good. I wouldn't be here without my family and just all my support, and it's a dream come true.
When I saw you backstage before this, you said you're going to soak every single moment in. Exactly how did it feel to do this final event in front of your family?
Gosh, it's like I said, it's a dream come true. I'm honored. I can't believe I get to do this. It's my greatest passion, and I feel most like myself when I'm out on this competition floor.
Does it mean all the more after your bicep injury last year?
It makes the bounce back a lot sweeter.
What's next?
Well, I plan on retiring from the Masters division and heading back to the Open individual.
We cannot wait to see you there. Thank you so much. Great job this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen.
I love you guys. I love this shit.
Here's the thing, I don't know if he was telling the truth or not, but let's just roll with it for
Breaking
now.
news, folks. Breaking news.
You heard it here first.
Oh, that's a pretty significant win for Sam Dancer. He beats out Giannis Papadopoulos, Brian Wong on the podium. But Panchik, he went from 6th to 4th and 20 points. The man can't not finish 4th. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Come on.
Nothing but heart from that guy, though.
Former Spirit of the Games winner, Scott Panchik. We do have an announcement video on more events to come here at the CrossFit Games. Let's roll into that. All right, so we have 3 tests there. Ski bag, Helena. There's our version of Helen. And of course, alpaca. We're going to do it the real way this time, with the rain staying away and those ropes being climbable.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting retest, if you will, to see how that workout goes again tomorrow. The ropes were omitted from the last version of the test last year, so we saw the ropes being added to a redo for the teams earlier today in this overhead squats, and it definitely proved a difference. So we'll see how that plays for the individuals.
And on the Helen side of things, Jason, yes, bar muscle ups, and yes, it's a dumbbell snatch, not a kettlebell swing, but not all that different than what a true Helen would be. You had all these ideas in your mind. How can they make it so much harder? Really didn't. It's just going to be a true test.
No, and this is what's beautiful about the way they programmed this. Helen is originally designed as like an all-out go, right? It's short, it's a fast. And they kept a similar stimulus, but ramped it up just a little bit. I love what they did here.
It's going to be a very interesting workout, that's for sure.
Schedule for tomorrow. Our ESPN Plus coverage begins at 10 a.m. Eastern, live on ESPN. Like the one. ESPN 1.
Real ESPN. We are there, folks.
ESPN.
We made it.
Made it.
7 to 9 tomorrow night for Finding the Fittest. Age groups are done, though, here at the CrossFit Games. They can kick back and relax with the rest of us. Games.crossfit.com has all of your information: statistics, standings, leaderboards, schedules, upcoming events, vendor information. You need it, it's got it. Games.crossfit.com. Thank you for joining us here inside the Coliseum at the Alliant Energy Center. For Tom Miazga, for Jason Kalipa, for Lauren Smith, our entire crew, my name is Joel Gadet, saying so long here on our first day of individual and teams competition, our final day for the age groups and adaptives. So much in the bag and so much still to do here at the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Games. Good night.